Stairs go slow, so it's
You guys just go all the way down. Great.
There were two exhibits yesterday that Mr. Pazlomic took with you to redact. Is that been done?
Yes. They were 12 and 13. I have the originals, although I'd like to
charts, diagrams, photographs, anything that is physical in which he seeks to impeach Mr. Ephron once cross-examination begins. Did I correctly state that?
You did?
All right, and everybody's on board?
Yes. On board.
All right, everybody ready for the jury? Where is it, Mr. Ephron? Mr. Ephron, go ahead and take the stand. You have your water bottle? Go ahead.
We stopped yesterday. You were talking to us about, enough about people's sports not here. What happened immediately after, yes.
Slide that mic over slightly. I know it's a little hard to hear.
I'm not sure, but it says, check connection. There's,
Let me see if these rolls. They are. So,
I can start if we can get the tech person.
Alex, can you get Mark up here?
Yes, sir.
Sorry, there's a red light on the side. Is it supposed to be green if it's...
I'm not sure. Normally, the issue is just that it's not turned on, but I know it turned on because there was a box that popped up.
All right, we'll have Mark is the computer, the audio visual. We'll have him come up and take a moment. But in the interim, can we get started?
Absolutely. So, we were talking about as the defendant was walking away from this parking lot, you said you looked over and you saw 12E putting a knife in his pocket, and then 12E walked after the defendant. Are you with me there?
Yes.
Okay, that's where I want to pick up today. You said at the end of your testimony yesterday, you talked about this being a white flag situation. and then you said that you were screaming out how Rocky had failed us. Do you recall that?
Yes.
What did you mean when you said that?
Like meaning,
What did
like,
you say?
I was just like, said something about 12B, I said something about bills, I said something about just overall.
Can you say the words that you said to the best of your
I
relative?
don't really remember because
You don't remember
I
any of
don't
the
want to
words?
lie. I don't want to like. I just remember just 3 years ago. Like, if I look at my statement,
If you don't remember word for word,
I don't want to like.
just
Yeah.
give us the sum and substance of it.
When you said, I said something about 12B, do you remember at all what it was that you were talking about? I understand.
Probably the contents of him like, like not have emotion almost, like, you know what I mean? Because the whole thing was that I think the complex con, I don't think they even seen Rocky or did anything, to be honest. Probably was complaining about the dude, you know what I mean? Like 2 days prior when I seen him. So it was like, people wasn't happy.
When you say, did you say not having motion?
Yeah, but that's not his fault. It's kind of like,
No, Mr. Ephron, I'm just trying to understand. I just didn't catch the word. I wasn't sure if you said motion or emotion. But you said not having motion, correct?
yeah, so I'm telling him he's not what it seems to be. Like it's not, you're not like Instagram is just fake. Like you're back, you work construction, you went on tour for 6 years. Like,
Okay.
I don't get it.
Were these some of the things that you were saying about 12E as
Yeah,
you were
because
walking
we're a
around?
brother, we're supposed to be
Okay,
lifting
hold
each
on, you
other
both
up.
can't talk at the same time. Ask the question again. Oh, okay, hold on, time. Mark, the monitor, the monitor over here can't get it to work. These are all on C. Okay, yeah, that looks good. Can you take a look, please? Yeah. So you can get it to work.
Can you see it on your screen, sir?
No, here. You know, if worse comes to worse, you can use mine and I'll just look at the screen. You can't get that film, Howard.
Not that there's any pressure on you.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, nobody's watching.
Martin, we pushed it earlier. A box popped up that said, no.
Okay. Yeah, right now it's not getting power.
were saying things with.
It's pretty much naming the whole, like, what's the question again?
What were the kinds of things you were saying about 12?
I was just saying, like, towards Rocky.
Towards 12. Let's start with 12 first.
I was kind of talking towards like Rocky though, but after 12, but I was just like, he's not like what he's supposed to be. Bills is not what he's supposed to be. But that's not me saying that it was his problem. It was like, you got the foundation, you want to hold the rock. You know what I mean?
When you say not his problem, who are you talking about?
Rockies. But I said it because he's the one that's got all of us there for his shows, this and that, they're not giving credit when credit's due. So it's like, you know what I mean? When you go down the line, like what I said yesterday, it's only Barry, Ferg, Rocky who's really successful. But when you really look at it, it's a lot of ASAP members. That's not his fault, but it's like you give credit when credit's due. So that's pretty much what I was saying.
Okay. The comments that you were making about 12, were they negative comments about him?
I wouldn't say negative. I mean, yeah, like truthful, kind of, not truthful.
I mean, were you saying, have you said in the past that one of the things you said about 12 is that he went on tour with the defendant for 8 or 9 years, but he was still living in the projects?
I don't know if that he personally was living in the projects, but I know he
did
went
you
back.
say
Yeah,
that?
I said that. Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
And about ills, I mean, would you agree that that statement about 12 is not a positive statement?
No.
Oh, you would not agree?
I would agree. You're not positive, yeah.
Okay. And the statement that you were making about ills, do you remember the words that you said?
I just said he's a crackhead.
Okay.
Like, he's not, like, nothing, like...
Would you also agree that's not a positive comment to make about ills?
Yeah, I agree.
Would you, were you directing your comments at the defendant, or were you saying each of these things to 12B and to ills directly?
I was just saying, in general, like, everybody live right next to each other, everybody can hear, you know what I mean? So it was just trying to, like, still back me up, like, yo, chill, you know?
Okay. I believe you said yesterday at the end that you were trying to verbally express how you feel. Is that is that what you're saying?
Yeah, because I felt like I'm never going to see Rocky again due to the circumstances, so I'm just going to let him know how I feel.
Can you explain that to the jury more? When you say, I know I'm never going to see Rocky again, what is that?
I mean, the circumstances, I mean, the situation that happened. Like, why would we ever see each other? You know what I mean? So I felt like I didn't want him to go back and then talk about it and everybody just laugh and think, oh, Rocky just pulled the gun on Rel, shot at, well, before then, because he didn't shoot yet, but pulled the gun on Rel and made this big scene, you know what I mean? So I'm like, bro, I know him 15 years. I know everybody over there, just about 15, just not Jamel, but Ills, I know him for like 15 years.
I believe you said yesterday that when you went into this, what you called linking up with him, it was to repair things with him, right?
Yeah.
After he pulled the gun on you, how were you feeling at that point?
I mean, he grabbed me first, so that everything, all bets was off the table. Like, I'm thinking, what are we doing here? Like, you know what I mean?
How are you feeling now?
Oh. Wait, what you mean?
How are you feeling after having this, after he pulled this gun on you?
Oh, I was like mad. I was like, I can't believe this just happened. You know what I mean?
And was there anything else about the presence of Ills and 12 being there that contributed to you being mad?
No, like them being there, like just got me mad, even.
Yeah. Did that change anything, the fact that the two of them came
No,
in?
not at all.
All right. At that moment, immediately after the gun was first pointed at you, as the defendant is walking away, did you have any animosity towards Ills?
No, I never had a problem with it.
I believe you said that both you and Ills then walked down the street following after the defendant, but the two of you were walking together, correct?
I mean, it wasn't really following nobody, I'm just talking. We're all walking together, you know what I mean?
But you're headed in the same direction
Yeah,
that
he's
he's
at
headed.
Argyle, yes,
And he's ahead of you, correct?
yes.
All right. So as the defendant got to the street, the street corner at the end of Argyle, where did he go?
I think he made a left on that street, he made a left.
Do you remember the name of the street?
No, I'm not probably.
Okay. And when he made a left, where did he go from there?
He kept going straight till he got about to the street, to the end of the street corner. I think where the stop sign is at.
Were you still behind him at that point?
Yeah,
Still walking in the same direction he was walking?
yeah,
Now, from what you've described, going down to the end of the street, making a left, and going all the way to the stop sign, at that point, you knew he had a gun, correct?
yeah, I think he had a gun.
He had just shown it to you.
Yes,
And was it that entire walk, that entire time that you were expressing to him how you feel?
yes,
In what you already described as an angry tone or an elevated tone?
yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Why would you follow behind someone that you know is armed with a gun and verbally tell them how you feel in the way that you did?
I told you already because I felt like I would never see him again. And I felt like since he put it away in one of the busy streets in Hollywood, like he's definitely not going to shoot this shit. I mean, shoot it.
So you, at that moment, did not believe that he would shoot you? That person?
No.
Yeah. Did you believe at that moment that he would shoot you?
What do you mean? Can you say it again?
The way that I asked the question before was a double negative, so your answer's not clear. So I just want to ask you a different way. Did you believe at that moment that he would shoot you?
At what moment when I'm walking with him?
When he's first walking away and you're walking in the same direction he's walking?
No. Well, I don't know. To be honest, I wasn't thinking straight at that moment. I had a lot on my mind. I just wanted to get what was on my chest off.
Do you think you would have reacted differently in this situation had that been a stranger that first pulled on you?
What do you mean?
Meaning, if a stranger pulled a gun on you, do you think you'd walk after them and essentially?
No, because I have no business. I mean, I got away from a life-threatening situation. But in that situation, I felt like maybe he put the gun away, and seeing Jamel with a knife, it furthered me wanting to say what was on my chest.
Okay. When you got to the area where the stop sign was that you described, you made the left turn, you walked to the stop sign, that's what you said, right?
Yes,
Who was the first person that got to where the stop sign was?
Rocky,
And then who was the next person?
Jamel.
And then after that?
It was basically like me and Dale. It was kind of,
And when you got to the stop sign area with Ills, what was the next thing that happened?
I'm still talking, but then I see Rocky turn around. Can I explain what happened?
Yes.
So I see Rocky turn around. When he turned around, he's like, kind of looked like a movie. The whole thing looked like a movie, like, you know what I mean? So he kind of like pointed down. He shot the first shot. When he shot the first shot, I felt my hand hot. So I grabbed Hills, used him as a shield. He's going around trying to shoot me between the hills. 12B is off to the side. I'm not really worrying about him. I'm just trying to like not get hit at this point.
You said, as you were saying that he had the gun out, you had your right arm extended about shoulder high. Is that-
Yeah, because he kind of like, when he turned around, he kind of like Like his back was turned, like it was kind of like you turn around, the gun's there, and he kind of like jumped when he shot. And kind of shot down, like, you know what I'm saying?
The gun that he was holding, did it look like the same gun that he pulled on you at the parking lot?
Yeah.
And when you say he shot down, what do you mean by that?
Like, I mean, like it was kind of like this. It wasn't like, I don't know, he pointing and doing, but it wasn't like aiming at you. It was kind of like that. So he, like I said, it was like a movie kind of like, boom. And then like just running around trying to like get me.
Okay, the motion he made with his arm, Your Honor.
Describe.
Yeah, so he had his arm extended out, and then as he was saying shot down, he lifted his arm up to about head high, and then had his pointer finger sort of pointed forward but in a downward trajectory.
Man was tired.
Well, I don't really remember, but from what like, it was more like, it was fast. He turned around, and then it was like, boom. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
not like,
Okay. You said that as he shot the gun the first time, you said your hand felt hot, correct?
yeah,
Where on your hand felt hot?
my left hand.
Where?
Left hand. Just right above my knuckles. Like my knuckles right here, up below my knuckles. So it's right here. And if I was to fall, you would see other injuries on that picture from that day from my knuckles and all around here. That's why, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Okay, yeah. I'm just have to, when you point this up, I have to describe it.
so my knuckles,
What he's
I
pointing
still
to,
got the
Your Honor?
mark from that day.
What he's pointing to are the middle knuckles on his left hand. Kind of, he has his hand sort of curled and going across.
Yeah, right there. So it's
Hold on. Both can't talk at the same time. So wait. Go ahead.
I think I was done. He motioned with his right hand across his left hand middle knuckles.
Ask another question.
You said that you then got behind Hills, correct?
I dashed to him. I got ran to him and then just grabbed him.
How did Hills react to this?
Oh, he was like petrified. He was screaming. After he literally said, "You could have got me killed." And I said, "What? You came with him?"
Wait, I want to stay right at that moment, though. I don't want to jump ahead. So right at that moment, you're saying he was petrified, correct?
Petrified.
Physically, what did he do? Did he move at all?
He was petrified. I grabbed him and he's like screaming, "No, no, no." And I'm using him every which way.
When you say petrified, though, is he moving at all or is he standing still?
Yeah, he's trying to move. And then he dropped his body.
Okay. And were you intentionally trying to position Hills between you
Oh,
and
yeah.
the defendant?
Yeah.
Okay.
Anybody that would have been there, I would have did that, especially if we came with him.
And then, Welby or Jamel, what did he do?
I don't know because I'm too busy grabbing Hills. I don't really see what 12 is. He's off to the side. I see him off to the side the whole time, but I don't really know what's going on. I don't even see them running off really. Like, I'm still dealing like with Ills literally telling me I could have got him killed while I'm just running off.
Right. Again, I don't want to jump ahead. I want to stay right at the moment when the shots are fired. Are you saying as the defendant fires the first shot, you then move around to Hills? You're not paying attention to 12, so you're not entirely sure what he did.
No, I'm not really sure what 12 was doing.
Okay. Then after the first gunshot, what did you see the defendant do? Physically, what did he do with his body?
Oh, he's running up and he shot again.
What does running up mean?
Like he's running and shooting. Like he's trying to like find. He's trying to look for a way to shoot because if I wasn't grabbing the Ills, I mean.
Did he physically come closer to you?
Yeah.
And
He got close.
you're saying
The whole time it was close, but he got really close.
you were saying that he was trying to move motion around Hills, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Is that yes?
Yes.
Okay. People 15. What I have on the screen is the file that's labeled sequence surveillance video from People's 15. I have it right now on the video player at the bottom. It's paused at 31 seconds into this video file, and it's stopped there. Mr. Ephron, do you see the larger video in the background?
Yes.
It's mostly gray.
Yes.
Do you recognize that area that we're looking at there?
Other than that day,
All right, I'm talking specifically about that day. Can you orient yourself on what you're seeing from that part of the video?
I mean, to the far right, that's where the curve is at. That's where the curve is at, and the stop sign where like the incident happened.
Can you point to it with the pointer?
So pretty much we walked right here, and Rocky got to like right around.
Keep your voice up.
I said we got to like right here, and then as soon as like he got into the street around right here, that's when the shooting took place.
Okay, I would say he's pointing to the top left-hand corner in where the street area is that we can see. Okay.
Right, and it's across from that orange wall barricade there, where that is.
Second.
All right, I'm gonna play the video and then I'll go back and ask some more questions about it. All right, start talking to the watch. I'm going to pause it at 55 seconds. Go back. I'll ask you some questions. So let's start at the beginning. Start from. I know it's going to be hard to see from here, but from taking you back to that night, you see the person that we can see best at the top left-hand corner, kind of in the middle of that street. You see that person?
Yeah.
Who was that?
Rocky.
Okay. There's another individual.
Came out with a red jacket.
Okay. Let me just finish the question though, because the court photographs take it right down. So that would be just above him and maybe just slightly to the left. There's another person there. You're saying that's Jamel?
Yeah, yes.
Okay. And then you and Ills at this moment, are the two of you at the street corner?
I don't know, it's kind of blurry.
That's
I
fair.
can't really see if that's a high group or like people that can't really see.
That's fair. Let me play it forward a little bit. If you could watch them. But with that, as your memory from that day, would that be the area that you recall being at?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to play it forward just a little. Did you see the movement of those two people that I was pointing to just a few seconds ago?
Wait, go back.
Sure. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Was one of those individuals you?
Yes.
And the other one was Hills?
Yes.
And what motion did you see yourself take on the video?
Like running towards those.
Okay, would you have been farther to the left-hand side of the screen just slightly?
Yeah, I'm on the left. It was to be on the right.
And, okay, then we go back just a little, start again at 35 seconds. The person that we see moving forward, is that still the defendant?
Yeah, so I'm kind of like running around those at that point while Rocky's like, it's like a circle. Everybody's trapped in like a circle.
I'm gonna go back and restart at about 35 seconds. Can you focus? This time I'm gonna ask you to focus on the person who said it's 12 feet and tell us where you see that person go. Okay? All right, and I'm pausing it at 42 seconds. Where did you see 12 feet go?
He ran across the wall.
Okay, I have paused here at 42 seconds. Would it be this person here?
Yeah. Yes.
And do you remember what this area was at all? I know it's been
No idea. No idea.
okay. But was there a wall here? Is that what this
Yeah.
white object
Yes.
is? All right. Did he make that motion right as the gunshot started happening?
Yes, he did.
I'm going to play it forward. And I'm going to stop it at 50 seconds. If you need me to go back, I will, but did you see what you and Ills were doing at that part that I just played? That's short.
I'm gonna go back. I was looking at Jamel still.
No, that's fine. Started back at 47 seconds. Oh, hold on. Maybe like a little farther. Started at 42 seconds. Stop it at 51. Did you see what the two of you were doing?
Yeah, so after Ills dropped his body, I probably was just looking to see where he was before I just run off or continue back down like Hollywood where I was at before.
Okay. When you say Ills dropped his body, what do you mean by that?
Like he physically just dropped, like his weight.
Did you do anything to push him to the ground?
No, no,
Did you strike him?
no, of course not.
Did you throw any punches towards him?
No.
So, are you describing him essentially dropping his body to try to get away from you? Because you're trying to hold him?
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure.
Did you personally go to the ground as he dropped his body?
Yeah, as he dropped. So I like kind of dropped with him. You could see me like almost drop, but looking back to see, kind of.
All right. And then fair to say at that point, that's when the defendant was running
Yeah,
away?
you could see Jamel like pushing him away at that point.
All right, I'm going to play another video file. All right, Your Honor, this video file is called combined surveillance video.
Part of 15?
Yes, on the same drive. And right now I have it paused at 46 seconds. Mr. Ephron, would you agree this appears to be the same camera angle?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to play it forward. And I'll pause it in a second. I'm going to pause it at 54 seconds. Does this look like a zoomed in version of that, in that area where you're describing this interaction happened?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to play the video forward from here. I'll ask you some questions. I'm going to stop it at 1 minute, 16 seconds. I want to go back to asking a few follow-up questions.
Okay, I'm sorry. Could you just identify what exhibit this is?
It's 15.
Blown up.
The video is called Combined Surveillance Video. So if you want to see, there's
Not the sequence.
there's sequence, there's combined, and then there's the 3 files.
They're all part of it.
Yes.
This one's combined surveillance video.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Starting at about 50 seconds. Zooms in. Again, just so we're all on the same page of who we're talking about, where it's paused at 55 seconds here, this individual here in the sort of in the middle of the street area, that's the defendant, correct?
Yes.
The person just to the left of him and slightly above him?
Jamal.
Okay. And then it's hard to see where you and Ills would be, but would you agree you'd be,
Wait, no, you both can't talk at the same time.
that's okay. You'd be towards the left here, more closer to the corner of the street, correct?
Correct.
I'm going to play it forward and I'm going to pause it at 1 minute and 2 seconds. Can you make out which person you are, Mr. Ephron?
Right here in this picture?
Yeah, where it's paused here at 1 minute and 2
I
seconds.
know one with the white Air Forces. It's really hard to tell what the white Air Force is. Oh,
I love you.
I can see it better on here than on the big screen for some reason. But I'm here. Over here looks way better.
Okay.
But I'm in this figure, whatever this is right here, but on here you can actually see it more.
Can you actually see on your back, Mr. Ephron, the design that was on the back of your sweatshirt?
Yes.
Okay. In that video, if you point to where the design is, if you can see it on the big screen.
White.
So it's say right in the middle of the top of the where the image is paused on.
To be precise, it looks like a white circle on your body.
Okay. And I'll play this video over here. And we stop it at 1 minute, 14 seconds. At this point, have you and Ills separated from each other?
Yes.
And why did you let him go at that point?
Because I've probably seen Rocky running off already.
Okay. You described the first shot, the motion the defendant made with his hand as he shot the first shot. Was the second shot any different from that?
I don't know at that point. I'm ducking.
You weren't really paying attention to
So
him?
no, I just was really just trying to grab those.
Okay. 1 second. Do you recall? I'm going to show you Equals 7. Do you recognize that area at all?
Yeah.
And what is that area?
That's what happened.
Okay. Where the 2 shots were fired, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Did you say yes?
Yes.
When the shots were first fired, can you point for the jury to a spot that is near where you were on that street?
I was coming down here, and I probably got to around like right here, I believe, and Rocky was like right here,
Okay.
and they got like then they got all around this area kind of.
You know, Your Honor, actually, I think what would make it easier, I'm going to have him just mark on the photograph itself. This is People 7. Let's do, for you, can you put an X where you would be when the first shot would happen?
probably hop up the curb a little, but I would say like what he's saying.
Okay, and then do a triangle for where the defendant was. Okay. Hey. Back up. Okay, a little better. The X you made is right here, correct?
Yes.
And fair to say that it was closer to the curb,
Yes.
and you were where you're describing was right by the corner, correct?
Yeah, correct.
And then the triangle that you made for the defendant is here, more in the middle of the street on Vista Del Mar, correct?
Yes.
Okay. As the defendant was shooting at you, was it your belief that the gun that you were using was a real gun or a fake gun?
Can you say that again?
Yeah. Did you believe, as the defendant was shooting at you, that he was shooting a real gun or a fake gun?
Oh, it was a real gun.
And what led you to believe that it was a real gun?
I mean, I was hit. I was hit.
Is there anything else about it?
When you know the difference between, I mean, I don't know how would you, somebody shooting at you, I don't know how to answer that, kind of.
Okay. Sir.
And I wasn't, like, I was grazed, I wasn't hit, I didn't have a hole through my hand or nothing. It was just like, that's what it was, you know.
At the moment that he first started firing at you, what would you estimate would be the distance between the two of you? And if it's easier to point to something in the courtroom, you can do that.
From the first shooting,
Yes.
probably like where I'm at from where you at, probably, I guess. Or a little bit further, I don't know.
This is where Mr. Grislovich's standing?
Yeah.
It's approximately 15 feet from where
Okay. By the time he fired the second shot, what was the
Like a
distance?
little further, like a little, it was, yeah, around here. Yeah.
Sorry, which shot were you talking about?
The first one, it was like 15 to like 7. 15, like around there, yeah. Couple years ago.
You said on the second shot that he moved a little closer to you. What would you estimate would be the distance of that one?
Oh, he was right up on us. I'm saying us because it was me and Ills. And I thought it was a bunch of shots because I'm just trying to like, you literally just duck underneath Ills, do whatever. Which way he was going, I'm putting Ills towards him.
How many shots did you believe that he fired at you?
At the time, I believe it was 3 or 4.
In fact, when you reported this to the police, how many shots did you tell them that he fired at you?
I believe 3 or 4.
And did you tell that to multiple police officers?
I did.
Was there anything that happened after you reported this to police that caused you to change your opinion on how many shots he fired?
No.
So you still, as you sit here right now, is it your testimony that he fired either 3 or 4 shots at you?
I mean, I've seen the video, so I understand it was 2 shots now.
That's what I mean. Okay, so as you sit here now, it's your belief he fired 2 shots at you, right?
Yeah.
But when you initially reported it, you reported it as 3 or 4 shots.
Yeah. Because it sounded like that. We're in like a closed, it's real loud. You know what I'm saying?
You said that what changed your opinion was that you watched a video, correct?
Oh yeah, the preliminary hearing
Okay.
was the first time I seen the actual like, the sound of the shots.
Your Honor, with the court judicial notice that the preliminary hearing was November 8th of 2023?
I don't have the transcript. Does everybody agree that was
That's right, yes.
Okay. So between the date of this incident, November 6, 2021, to November 8, 2023, in those 2 years, you believe that it was 3 or 4 gunshots, correct?
Yes.
And then after you watched a video that had sound, after the preliminary hearing, you changed you understood then that it was 2 gunshots, correct?
Yeah. Yes. I mean, truthfully, I thought it was way more, but I'm going off of the video because mentally I thought I got shot at a lot of times.
Okay. If you can, just clarify for us, when you're referring to something, if it's based on your memory or from watching the video. Can you do that?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Now I'm going to have to mark my next thing.
17.
Showing you what's marked as People's 17. Do you recognize what you see there?
Yeah.
And what is that?
That's my left hand.
And do you know who took this picture?
Probably was off my phone.
This is a picture you took.
Yeah.
Okay. And do you know when you took this picture?
Probably the day after or the day, that day.
So you're thinking either November 6th or November 7th?
Or 8th. I don't know.
Okay, that's fair. Somewhere within a day or two of the actual shooting.
Yeah.
And the red marks that we see on your pointer finger, middle finger, and slightly on your ring finger there, what caused those injuries?
A graze, I believe. Because, like I said, I felt something hot. And if I was to pull on my hand, I'm not no expert or anything, but if I was to pull on my hand or anything, my knuckles at the top would be messed up and everything else would be messed up. It just was right here.
Okay. So
And
you're
I
saying,
weighed 210 pounds. So probably at that time I weighed 190. So if I'm falling on my weight, my whole knuckle would be damaged on my whole hand.
Ron, can I just ask you a response to the question? What's the cause?
Yeah, that was a non-response.
when you say graze, are you talking about graze from one of the bullets?
Yes.
Okay.
Hold on.
It's going to be a leading objection, but you can't work.
What do you mean when you say graze?
Like, when he shot the first shot, I felt my hand hot because I felt like I got grazed.
By what?
A bullet.
Thank you. After the second shot, so after the shooting, where did you see the defendant go?
I just ran after it. I just grabbed it.
But where did you see the defendant go?
After the shooting or while he was shooting?
After the shooting.
Oh, I seen him leave. Like, I think he just took off
Okay.
and he ran.
And did he run out of your view? So you lost sight of him?
Yes.
Where, after he took, was he the first one to leave?
I don't know. I don't
Did
know
you
if he was
see
the
at
first
some
one.
point, sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you. Did you see at some point 12 English?
It was 3 years ago. I really don't really remember that. I just remember what happened to me. Like all the small pieces, it's kind of hard to like remember unless I have something physically or I said something around that time to remind me.
Was there a moment after the shooting where it was only you and Ills who were left on that street together?
Probably for like a second. He was still getting up or he was ready to run.
Okay. After Ills went to the ground, what was the next thing that happened?
I think they took off. Like 12 and Rocky took off, and then I'm probably like scanning the area to make sure he's still not there or shooting at me. And then I took off back the same way that I came and went down Hollywood back to the Lowe's.
When you say the same way you came, are you talking about the same streets that you walked?
Yeah.
Okay. So you would have been headed back towards the W Hotel in that area?
Yeah, correct.
And then did you walk all the way up to Hollywood Boulevard?
Yes, I did.
And from Hollywood Boulevard, did you walk all the way back to the Lowe's?
Yeah, I did. Yes.
In the time after the defendant and 12E ran away, where it's just you and Ills, I know you say it's a second. Was there anything that happened between you and Ills at that time?
No, the only thing Ill said, and I put that on everything on whatever, but he said, you literally almost got me killed. And I looked at him and said, what? You came with him? That was the only thing that was said between me and Ill.
So there was a brief conversation?
Real brief.
Did you physically assault him?
No, it never hit Ills. Never. And Ills actually has a broken jaw. Like, he cannot get hit in the face. He has like a wired jaw because Rocky's cousin broke his jaw.
Okay.
Don't object as a restricted, not responsive.
Just a, and the testimony is straight. Read first a couple of words. We'll read the question, please.
Did you physically assault him? The question is, did you physically assault him?
Yeah, that calls for yes or no. Did you physically assault him?
No. Ills? No.
That night, November 6, 2021, did you know of any physical sensitivities that Ills had?
Excuse me?
Yeah, did you know that Ills had suffered an injury before November 6, 2021?
Did I know that his...
Hold on.
You can answer.
Did I know he had like a permanent broken jaw?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. We go back briefly to the surveillance video. Let's stay with this same file, Your Honor.
15 on 15?
Yeah, but the file label combined surveillance video. Briefly. I have the video paused at 2 minutes and 47 seconds. If you could watch it, I'll play it. I'm going to play a couple seconds and then I'll go back and ask you a question, okay?
Yes.
All right, I'm pausing it at 2:54. So let's go back to 2:47. I'll pause it here at 2:48. Do you see the individuals at the sort of towards the bottom right-hand corner of the screen there?
Yes, I do.
You see the person who's walking in front appears to be wearing a black sweatshirt, and the person behind has a red jacket on.
Yes.
Do you recognize who the person in the black sweatshirt is?
Yeah, that's Rocky.
And who's the person in the red jacket?
Jamel.
you say Jamel, that's the person you also refer to as 12, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Right. Last person I want to show you on this video. Have it paused at 3 minutes and 51 seconds. You see there's only one person depicted in the video here, kind of in the middle of the screen.
Yes.
Do you recognize who that person is?
Yes, Elijah.
And same person you've also been referring to as Hills.
Yes.
All right. Thank you. You mentioned that in your testimony just before that you have watched the surveillance video as part of this case, correct?
That's correct.
At least some of it. Is that
Yes.
correct? Do you know when you first reviewed any surveillance video in this case?
I believe the DA called me to identify in a video if that was Rocky and like the first shooting. But I think that was it.
Okay. Did you meet with police officers before you met with any deputy DAs associated with this case?
What do you mean?
Yeah, did you meet with police officers or police detectives before you talked to any prosecutors?
No.
The first person you talked to in this case was a prosecutor?
Oh, no, I talked to the police. I believe. Yeah, the police.
All right. When was the first time that you talked to the police? You don't have to give us a date, but you can say it was.
When I obtained a lawyer and walked into Los Angeles Police Department.
How close in time was that to the shooting?
Well, I hit up a lawyer the same night, but it was late, so he advised me I forgot what it was he advised me of at that time, but then I ended up going back and getting the actual bullets myself
Okay, hold on.
and taking pictures of the cameras.
How many, I guess my question is, are you talking about you went to the police within minutes, hours, days, weeks, months? Can you give us just a time period?
No, so I had to wait for the lawyer, and then I sent them everything that I like, the text messages, everything.
You're not answering my question.
Oh,
Give us just a time period. Don't tell me what you did. Just say it was within hours, minutes, days, months. How soon after this?
did I go to the police station?
Yes.
The next day.
Okay. Did this incident happen late at night on November 6th, correct?
I'll have to see.
Well, it was dark out.
Yeah, I know it was late, but I don't, like I said, it was 3 years ago. I don't remember the dates. I don't remember streets at this point. I just remember what happened.
That's fair. But when you say the next day, is it possible that instead of being on the 7th, it was on the 8th that you went to the police department?
Yeah, so pretty much I was just waiting for the lawyer to respond back. So I had my business partner.
Stay. It's not responsible.
Okay.
Where can we get grounds for when he makes
It's
a
not
judgment?
responsible.
Could we have the defense state grounds instead of his objection when they? Just
Was responsible.
I was asking the future.
Like I said, did you say not
You
responsible?
just said objection.
Just objection. I thought it was pretty obvious that it was not.
Can we just ask in the future that he?
If you decide has to object, just say objection and the legal basis.
Thank you.
Okay. So the first time you reported this to the police, you say was within a day, either November 7th or November 8th of the shooting, correct?
Yeah, so pretty much I just wanted to wait for my lawyer.
That's just a yes or no, please.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Thank you.
Okay.
Now, when you reported this to the police, how did you do that? Did you call 911? Did you call the station? Did you go to the station?
No, we just walked in.
Oh, do you remember which police station you walked into?
I forget what it is. Hollywood, or like, I know it was, Hollywood police station or something. I don't really remember.
And was there a police officer at the front desk that you talked to?
Yes.
And did you tell that police officer essentially what had happened during this incident?
I did.
After you talked to that police officer, did you talk to another police officer from that same station after him?
I don't remember.
Okay. Ultimately, did you meet
I
with
talked with so many people, like the lawyers, like with everything. It was just, I don't remember.
That's what I'm trying to. That's what I'm trying to unpack here now.
Okay.
So you talked to a police officer at the station. Did you then talk to a detective?
I think a detective came out because once I handed him the bullets, I think that's, and he seen the lawyer I was with, I think that's when he took it serious and like had somebody come out. I think I remember clearly.
Did you later talk to another set of detectives after that first detective that you talked to?
Man, they called me so many times, I don't even remember.
Is it fair to say you talked to a number of people about this incident from the police department?
Yes.
Okay. Did all of those conversations that you're talking about so far occur before you watched the surveillance video in this case?
Yeah, it happened before I watched it.
So had you seen the surveillance video when you walked into the Hollywood police station to talk to the officer at the desk?
No, I didn't see no video.
When the detective from the Hollywood station called you, had you seen the video at that point?
I think they called me into LA. I forgot when to identify. I think it was like seriously like 8 months later or 7 months. I don't remember. It was a long time.
So was it police officers that showed you the video for the first time?
Yeah, they did.
Okay. But had you already told what had happened before watching the video?
Yeah, yes.
As you sit here right now, do you remember the date that you first saw the video?
No.
And the video that you watched first, do you remember what was in the video that you watched?
It was the one of Rocky coming up to me and brandishing a gun, like where we had like the first initial, like when we see each other.
Outside of the parking garage?
From the, yeah, up front of the parking garage, yeah, across from the W.
Okay.
And I think they showed me the other one too of the parking lot. That was so long ago. I was just happy that they had the footage of the whole gun at the time. I was like, I think that's one.
So when you say the other one, are you talking about the sort of blurry distance one that we just went over?
Yeah, yes.
Did they, if you remember, did you see any other videos?
I don't think so. They didn't show me a lot.
Did they show you the video that I played at the end there of the defendant and 12E walking up the street?
No, they didn't show me none of that.
Okay.
I think they only showed me 2 videos, which was Rocky with the gun and then the actual like shooting taking place and everything else they didn't show me. I found out during preliminary hearing,
So,
I believe.
yeah, and I don't want to jump yet to the preliminary hearing, but the first time you watched the video, did you see any video that had audio on it or attached to it?
Only one, but that was the shooting, but you couldn't see anything.
When the police showed you the video, did they play the one for you that has audio?
Oh no.
Okay. You said the first time you saw that one was at the preliminary hearing, correct?
Yeah, correct.
After this incident, so after November 6th, when was the next time that you saw Elijah?
After the incident,
Yes.
I haven't seen Elijah since
In person?
in person.
Now, if there's an allegation that Elijah suffered an injury because of this, was there anything that you saw that that you could speak to what Elijah looked like after this incident?
You say that again?
Yes, if there's an allegation that Ills suffered an injury because of this incident, did you have any opportunity to see Ills' face after this incident?
Actually, I did, because one of them posted a video and I took a snapshot of them all eating. They went out to eat the next day after the shooting.
Okay. And where did you see that video?
It was on, I forget whose story mode, but it was one of them, but it was like burritos. He even had his girlfriend there, and a bunch of people eating, and it was toasting. And I just figured I'd take a snapshot.
And could you see Ills in that video?
Oh yeah, you can.
And you took a photograph of that?
I did.
Mark my next.
18.
I'm going to show you what I just marked as people 18. If I can get rid of this a little clear. Can you see that?
Yeah, okay.
Do you recognize this photograph?
Yes,
And is this the screenshot that you're talking about that you took?
it is.
And the video you watched was on November 8th, correct?
I don't really know how to see, but yes.
Okay. But you're
Get
saying,
off my phone, you can see it.
are you saying you don't remember the specific date, but you know it was within a day or?
Oh, I knew it was the next day.
The next day?
Yeah.
And do you see Ills in this still photograph?
Yeah, it was right to the, I believe.
Can you
that
point
was
to him?
It was him right here.
Okay, so I would say it's the only face that we can see on the far left of the photograph to the stand next to the person in the red jacket you're standing at. Who's the person in the red jacket?
That's right.
Okay. And when you the video you actually saw of this, was it was longer than just this one photograph, correct?
Yeah, it was toasting.
And in the video, could you see more of Ills' face?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Did you see any injury on Ills' face in that video?
No.
Okay. Now, I know we've kind of jumped around a little, so I want to go back to the day of the shooting. After the two shots that we heard, the defendant and 12E ran away. You said you and Ills separated, correct?
Yeah.
And you walked the same path that you had taken up the street past the W down Hollywood, correct?
Yeah, back to the Lowe's.
Okay. What at that point was your reaction to what had just happened? How were you feeling?
Shit. I felt betrayed. I felt hurt. I felt like, that's why I was texting. I wanted to see where he was at with this situation. I felt like he was just denying it, like just acting like shit didn't happen. So it was hard for me to like even trust him or anybody around him at that point. So I started calling like lawyers. I had my business partner.
Let me stop you. When you say he and him, are you talking about the defendant?
Yes.
Okay. Where did you, well, I think you already said, you went back to the Lowe's, correct?
Yeah, I went back to Lowe's to get my girlfriend for 1 second.
Okay.
But I walked there. I walked to Lowe's, and then I ended up getting my girlfriend.
And
I went back and got the bullets.
So after you met up with your girlfriend, where did you go?
We drove back to the same spot. So that was within like an hour or 45 minutes. You could timestamp it and see how long it took me to get back there. But it wasn't hard for me to find the bullets because I knew exactly where I got shot at.
Okay, let me stop you. So you and your girlfriend are together, you're driving, you said we went back there. Where do you mean when you say there?
To the incident.
Where the shooting happened or where at the parking garage?
The shooting.
Okay, that street corner?
Yes.
And I believe in your answer you said that, and this is your approximation, that it was about 45 minutes to an hour after the shooting that you went back?
Yes, correct.
Do you remember the exact time?
Probably, I've seen it recently on my phone, but it had to be like 10:40 something or maybe like 11:40 something. So that gives it like an hour from the time that the incident happened. And I took a picture of, the bullet. So I remember, I think you have to show me the time or something. That's how I remember. But first I stopped at Dunkin' Donuts to get a pen and a brown paper bag. And then I went over there in hopes to find whatever I could find, whether it was cameras, anything, you know what I mean? Because I took pictures of cameras and everything, and then so happens I find the bullets. So I take a picture of them before I scoop it up with a pen and then put it in the brown bag.
We're going to take a break now. Be ready. Stretch your legs. All right, folks, we'll be in recess for 15 minutes. So if you could all please be outside the courtroom doors at 11:30, as close to that time as possible. Just as a reminder, we're going to go to
is on the stand, and Mr. Kozlowski, please, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Right before we broke, you were talking about how you went back to the street corner where this incident happened. You had your girlfriend with you, and you personally went back to look for evidence at the crime scene. You follow me so far?
Yes.
And you said that while you were at the corner, you found some fired cartridge cases or evidence that was at the street, correct?
That's correct.
And when I asked you if you remembered specifically what time you went back to the location where this happened, you referenced that you took photographs and there was a timestamp in your phone. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Now I'm going to ask to mark my next exhibit.
19.
I'm going to actually staple the 2 pages together, Your Honor, so if we can do 19A and 19B.
Eighteen was what?
It was a,
Oh, the shot of the restaurant? All right, 1980.
Mr. Ephron, let me actually approach. 19A has some small photographs on it. I'm going to hand the document before I put it up there, but take a look at that and tell me specifically if you recognize the 4 photographs that you see small pictures of on this exhibit.
Yes.
And what are those?
Those are pictures I took
Of
showcasing, I believe.
And were those pictures that you took at the scene when you went back?
Yes, it is.
Do you see in the column right next to that, under the line where it says created, there's a date of 11/6/21, and then on the topmost one it says 11:45 and 24 seconds p.m. Correct?
Correct.
Does that match the time that you went back to the location where this incident happened?
Yeah, within an hour.
And would that be the time that you specifically took the photograph?
Yes.
Same time you were referring to in your phone, correct?
Yes, it is.
Okay. I'm going to display this now so everyone knows what we're talking about. Did you take multiple photographs while you were at that location?
I did.
Okay. And Your Honor, I'm going to just display the page in its entirety first, and then zoom in on the topmost row. The photograph to the far right here, is that one of the photographs you took of the cartridge cases?
It is.
And then the date and time created is in the next column over, correct?
Yes.
All right. And then going down the row, the second photograph would have been created November 6/21 at 11:45:49, so just a few seconds after the first one.
That's correct.
The third one at 11:47:56, correct?
Yes.
And the fourth one on this page, 11:48:01, correct?
Yes.
Now, and I can show them, approach if you need me to show them to you closer, but would you agree that the first 2 photographs appear to be of the same cartridge case?
It is.
So even though there's 2 photographs, those photographs are taking pictures of the same individual thing?
Exactly.
Okay. And then the bottom 2 photographs, is that, are you taking a photograph of a second cartridge case?
I am.
Okay, so even though there's 4 photographs, these are only of 2 cartridge cases at the scene, correct?
Yes.
And were these photographs that you took before you picked up those items?
Yes.
So these would have been in place at the time.
They was in place, never touched.
Okay. I'm going to put up people's 19B. Do you recognize that, Mr. Ephron?
I do.
And is that one of the photographs that you took?
It is.
In total, while you were at that scene after you went back, how many cartridge cases did you find and collect?
2.
Did you find any more than 2 that you did not collect?
No.
Trying to pull up the computer here, but for some reason it's not recognizing something plugged in. Okay, there we go. Your Honor, I'm going to display from the same exhibit, People's 15, the thumb drive. On the actual drive itself, there's a folder labeled 1616 Vista Del Mar. And contained within that are 2 files. The bottom file starts with magic-QX and ends in the number 2000. That's the file that I have pulled up on screen here. And Mr. Ephron, can you see that? Yeah. This would be the same camera that we've seen before, correct, of that location?
Yes.
And it's very small here, but in the bottom I have it paused at 230957. I'm going to play it forward a little, and I'm going to ask you a few questions. So I can see any of these controls. I'm going to ask you to focus your attention on that same street corner that we were discussing before. Can you see what looks like an individual person walking just off the curb now into the street?
Yeah, that's me.
Keep your voice up.
Yeah, that's me.
Are you sure that that's you?
Yeah, I'm sure.
How is it that you are sure?
Because we can go back to when I took the stamps and see, like, you know what I mean?
Okay. So that's,
Well, can you just give us time on that, please?
yes. See, I paused it again. So right now it's at 23:10:31, which would be 11:10:31. 11:10:31. And you said you were there 11:45:24, correct, Mr. Ephron?
Yes.
So this would be half an hour before you said you got there, correct?
Half an hour before.
If this is 11:10 and you said you got there
Judge.
at 11:45,
Hold on.
Judge, just one. Can Yes.
What's the name?
She's on witness stand. It's on the table.
Wait, you say what now? Say that again?
Yeah, that video shows that person there at 11:10 p.m. and you're saying you returned at 11:45. That was what you said when you said refer to the timestamp on the pictures, correct?
What time did the incident happen right now?
The incident happened at 10:17 p.m.
10:17. What time was this?
Encroach again. It might be easier for you to see than me, but it's saying 11:10 p.m.
Yeah, so that's correct.
Right.
Yeah, that's correct.
Well, I mean, can you make out the person that you see in that video?
Objection, Judge. You already
He's already answered.
Your Honor.
No speaking objections.
I'm asking
No
for-
speaking objections. Asked and answered.
Your Honor.
Yes?
I would just ask.
Yes.
I would just ask that counsel, the court has ordered that counsel stay grounds. When he simply says objection.
I know what he's going to say. All right, I'll wait till he states the legal grounds. I'll wait till you state the legal
Please,
grounds.
thank you, Your Honor.
But I know what the legal grounds are, but as soon as he says objection.
Asked and answered.
Asked him. He already said that.
Your Honor, I believe we are allowed to clarify.
Mr. Lord? No. Go ahead.
Would you agree that the person in that video, what color clothing items do you see that person wearing in the video?
Like again, a white shirt, and I think like black pants
Okay.
or sweater.
And you previously said you were wearing a dark colored top, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Is that yes?
Yes.
But you're saying the person in this video is wearing a light colored top, correct?
All I know, I went back and found the bullets. I don't know who that is or what time, or I know I came back within an hour. I'm confused on what this is right here.
Okay. When you went back to your hotel, did you change your clothing?
I don't really remember. It was so long ago, but probably, I don't know.
You also said when you went back to the scene, you were with your girlfriend, correct?
Yeah.
Did you see a second person in the video here?
No, but you gotta keep playing it.
Continue to play. Sorry, they're asking me to wait because they're two computers.
Check it all out. We'll find out what the problem is. All right.
Mr. Ephron, did you have an opportunity to watch this video? I'm sorry, I can take that if it's distracting, the timestamp with the photographs. Did you have a chance to watch this video when you testified at the preliminary hearing?
I did.
When you testified at the preliminary hearing, did you say that's
Court grounds.
Yes, nice finish.
What's the action?
This regarding impeaching, which is not been over.
There's nothing wrong with impeaching parties on witness.
Can we strike the word impeachment? That's not a legal objection, and he's now describing what we're doing, which is incorrect.
An attorney is entitled to contradict what a witness has previously said.
Did you previously testify at the hearing? That's not me.
What are you going to read from?
The preliminary hearing transcript.
What page?
127.
What page?
Right now, I'm at line 13.
Hold on. I don't have a transcript. I think I can get one.
We need to get our. We may have an extra copy.
Alex is going to get
While Alan's saying that, we approach
While he's doing that, Connor, I'm gonna, just for the sake of time, I'm gonna play the video forward and then I'll come back to the line of questions once you have the transcript. Okay, Mr. Ephron, I just, sorry, my eyes are just not that good. I cannot see the time. It's so small. So it's stopped right now at 23:10:31. So it'll be 11:10:31. I'm going to play it forward. And I'll read the time off where we stop. Keep your eye on that person if you would, Mr. Ephron.
That's not me. I don't look like that.
Hold on. There's no question.
No question.
Hold on. Right. I'm going to stop it there. I think I stopped it. Let me just read off the time and it will replay. So it's now at 23:11:39. So 11:11:39. Did you have an opportunity to watch that person that was depicted on the video during that period of time the video was played?
Yes.
And did you see any other people with that individual?
No.
I'd like to go into the transcript, Your Honor, but
Can you bring me the page?
yes.
We'll just take a look at it before you. Page 127, line 13.
Line 13. And it's going to go into 128. Your
All
Honor.
right, so let me just take a look. Over to where on
Where's my house? Yeah, these two lines 6, Your Honor.
All right, this is inconsistent with his trial testimony, so it's fair game. Go ahead.
Well, can we approach her? I just don't want to speak in objection, so that's all I'm trying to.
You can, the part that you wanted to read is inconsistent with today what Mr. Ephron has testified to. You're entitled to bring out prior statements that are different than in court, in trial statements. So go ahead.
I'm not disputing that, Your Honor.
Yes.
One second.
See,
Is there something else I need to see?
no.
All right, go ahead.
So, Mr. Ephron, when you testified previously, you were shown that video, correct?
Yes.
Did you say, that's not me?
I believe so. It was a long time ago.
Do you want to refer to the transcript?
But I remember, I need to jog my memory. It's the first time I'm seeing it. Once I looked at the video, I noticed that's not me.
Okay.
I don't walk like that. I don't move like that. That look like a homeless person or something.
Did you also in fact say, I don't even walk like that?
When before?
Yes, when you
Oh, I just had to
testified
look just now and notice again. But yeah, I don't walk like that.
Okay. My question is, when you testified previously, you said, I don't even walk like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
Did you also previously testify that when you went back, quote, I probably had the same hoodie on, that looks like a gray hoodie?
Sounds familiar. How long ago did I say that?
Is that what you said previously? Meaning, you said previously that you were wearing the same hoodie, correct?
From that day? What do you mean?
I mean, okay.
I don't really, it was so long ago.
You told us that when this incident happened, you were wearing this hoodie.
Right.
When you got back to your hotel and then came back to find the fire cartridge cases, you previously testified you were wearing the same hoodie, correct?
Yes, so I said.
And answer your line.
All right, Alex was giving me the, could you read the question?
Yes, sure. Question, when you went back to your hotel and then came back to find the fire cartridge cases, you previously testified you were wearing the same hoodie, correct? Answer, yes.
And when you watched the video, you commented that the person seen in that video was wearing a gray hoodie, or what you meant was a different color hoodie from the one that you were wearing that night, correct?
Correct.
And that testimony that we're referring to, or say you said that previously, that was on November 8th of 2023, correct? At a completely different hearing?
That was a preliminary hearing?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
The court previously taken judicial notice today.
Yeah, the preliminary hearing occurred over 2 days. The first day was November 8th of 23. The second day was November 20th of 23.
As you sit here right now, do you have any recollection of how long it took you to find these fire cartridge cases after you went back to the scene?
Probably took me no longer than 2-3 minutes.
In your view, was it a quick, short period of time?
Yes.
You talked yesterday about some of the reasons why you would not have physically attacked the defendant that day, correct?
In general.
You talked about, in general, the consequences that you feared that would come to your career in the music business. You remember that?
Yes.
Those were consequences that you feared would possibly happen if you got into an altercation with him. Have you, since this incident, suffered any actual consequences to your career?
Oh, of course.
Can you explain that to the jury?
I mean, it's been a living hell. You know what I'm saying? Like, death threats, just people leaving me to snitch for saying something that happened. my social media, everything that I'm doing as far as social media, I don't have a presence there no more.
You said you were working in the music industry managing.
And then like my artists turned on me, my producers, they all turned on me because of this decision I made. They felt like, okay, this is gonna be like, I can't back them up no more. I can't support them with what I'm doing, going to the police. They didn't want nothing to do with me no more.
When you say they turned on you, what does that mean?
Like they unfollowed me, wrote shit about me, like some of them. Other ones just like understood.
We're not making that road suggestions.
Are you still working with any of those individuals?
No, nobody.
So that would include artists or musicians that you were working with, correct?
Yes.
Would also include producers that you worked with, correct?
Yeah. Yes.
You don't have any of those people that you're managing anymore, correct?
Nobody.
You said that prior to this incident, you had meetings with different executives from record labels, correct?
Yeah.
Do you still have meetings with record labels?
No, they all unfollowed me, damn near all of them.
Do any of them contact you anymore?
No.
You said you had your own management business called Shut Eye, correct?
That's correct.
Is that still a business?
No. I actually cut ties with all my artists and gave them their royalties. Like I didn't even get no back then.
Stop.
Is it fair to say that your entire career in the music business is now no longer, does not exist anymore?
In that field of overall music, fashion, just the culture, it's done.
All of it.
Done.
And how soon after the shooting did that happen?
I mean, nobody really knew it was me until Jabari posted a picture of me. So then once that happened, it was over.
Okay.
Was that doesn't answer your question?
Yeah, was that picture specifically in some way relating back to this shooting?
Yes.
How so?
Because he wrote on one of my pictures, this rat ass nigga snitched on my brother, or snitched on my bro, or whatever.
And after that, your career basically ended.
Oh yeah.
After the shooting, you already said you contacted an attorney, correct?
I did.
Did you ultimately, through your attorney, file a civil lawsuit?
I did.
And is the defendant one of the people that you're suing in that lawsuit?
Yes, him and his lawyer.
Okay. When you say his lawyer, who are you talking about?
Joe Tacopina?
Is he seated at the table here today?
He is.
And why was it that his lawyer wasn't at the shooting when that happened that day, correct?
No, but I got defamation lawsuit against him.
Your Honor, they're opening the door here.
I didn't, well, wait, can you read the question back and the answer?
Why was it that his lawyer wasn't at the shooting when that happened that day, correct? Answer no, but I have a defamation lawsuit against him.
The question is, why was his shooting, why was the attorney not at the shooting?
No.
It definitely was not.
Why was it that dashes his lawyer wasn't at the shooting when that happened that day, correct?
Why was he
Call for yes or no.
No.
Mr. Tacopina was not at the shooting, correct?
No.
Answer another question.
is, well, when you came to that preliminary hearing that we talked about before, did Mr. Tacopina ask you questions at that hearing?
He did.
Can you give us an approximate of how long he was able to ask you questions?
I don't recall, I don't remember. It's like a day, half a day, I don't really remember.
Okay. More than an hour?
Oh yeah, for sure.
And did you answer the questions that he asked you?
I did.
After that day, has Mr. Tacopina asked you to, essentially, if you'll sit down for an interview with him?
No.
Did he ask you, or sorry, he did not ask you directly, but were you asked by the judge if you would agree to an interview with Mr. Tacopina since that day of the preliminary hearing?
Yeah, I was.
When did that happen?
Yesterday.
And what was your answer?
I declined
Why did you decline to talk?
because I spoke to him already.
One second, I'm sorry. I'm going to mark my next exhibit on
20.
Do you have a friend, first name is Justin?
That's my business partner.
Is he a close friend of yours?
He is.
Someone that you've done business with?
Yes.
After this shooting, did you exchange text messages with Justin?
I did.
And did you send him any messages specifically related to the shooting?
Not really. I don't know if it would you call that relating or. Yeah, I guess so.
Okay. So I'm going to display what I previously marked as because exhibit 20. Do you recognize what we see here?
Yeah, so I said I want to get this nigga's money.
All right. When you wrote that line, who are you referring to?
I'm referring to Rocky.
And again, was this text message sent after the shooting?
Yes, it was after.
Now, can you see Justin responds to your text, correct?
Yeah, he's a sarcastic person, so he said he's probably trying to get you to perform at complex time.
So when you received that, you didn't receive that as a serious comment that he was making?
No, because he always makes like weird side jokes.
Okay. And what was your response to him after that?
He shot me.
And when you say he shot me, who are you referring to?
To Rocky.
Objection. He didn't say he shot me. He said he shot at me.
Sorry, I apologize. I did read that incorrectly. When you said he shot at me, who are you referring to when you say he?
Rocky. Rocky.
Is there a approximate date and time when that text was sent? Or is there a way to determine?
There is. Give me just 1 second here. Do you remember the date and time?
It had to be the 7th.
I don't have it printed. I can definitely pull it up on my computer. Okay. We'll find the date and time and then we'll enter stipulation. That works good. Sure. Okay. I'm going to mark my next exhibit, Your Honor, 21. It is a 10-page document. Text messages, yes. Before I display, I'm going to approach and ask him to review himself. Now, there's some information redacted on here, Mr. Ephron, but do you recognize who the text messages in this thread are between? Okay. And
Okay, I didn't hear.
Me and Rocky.
the date that these text messages start, would you agree it's November 6, 21 at about 9:34 p.m.?
That's correct.
Okay. And if you need to refer to context, let me know. But there's two colors of text bubbles. There's blue and there's green. Do you know which one is you and which one is
I'm green. He's blue.
so the defendant's blue and you're green?
Is that yes?
Yes.
And that first message, November 6/21 at 9:34 p.m., that would be before the shooting, correct?
That's correct.
Now I'm going to go all the way to the last page, page 10, and show you the very last message on this thread is marked at November 7/21 at 12:46 a.m. Would you agree that is after the shooting?
That's correct.
Okay. Now you said he is blue and you are green, correct?
Yes.
Let's go through this first page. First text message, what was the content of the text message that you received?
Where you at? Question.
And then the second text message that you received.
Let's get to it.
All right. The third text message,
Stop ducking my call.
and that one was read by you at 9:35, or sorry, 9:39 and 22 seconds p.m.
Correct.
Did you then responded to that message, correct?
Yeah, but we spoke because I answered his FaceTime call.
That's okay. I'm
I
just
lied.
going.
It's not about lying, but I didn't want to tell him exactly where I was at, so I said Trader Joe's.
That's fine. So, and I'm sure there are other messages you exchanged with other people, but I'm just asking you to focus on this,
Okay.
this thread. Your next response to him at 10:08:31 was, "I'm in front of Trader Joe's, drop location."
Correct.
For the record, that was PM.
Fine. Okay. Going to the third page, the top of the page, the first message. I know it's a small photograph, but can you tell just from that small photograph what that's a picture of?
That's the showcase now.
And is this you sending him a picture of the shell casing after the shooting?
That's correct.
And how soon after you took the picture did you send it to him?
I don't know, within minutes or if right there, I don't really remember.
Okay. You took the picture at 11:45 and then sent it at 11:58. Does that sound about right to you?
Yeah, that's correct.
But you sent it to him that same night, correct?
I did.
And this, again, this is after the shooting.
That's after the shooting.
And then your next message to him?
You tried to kill me. You tried killing me.
And now we moved into the next day, November 7th, but just past midnight, so 12 o'clock and 55 seconds in the morning, correct?
That's correct.
And then you said to him, the next message,
You should have killed me.
and then your next message to him after that one?
I sent him a text message of his call to me, his text message to me, letting him know that. So when I said you should have killed me, I was meaning I'm about to be the biggest, like I'm about to do what I need to do.
You were showing him the prior text message where he said, "Where are you at? Let's get to it."
I was pretty much showing
Wait,
him.
both can't talk at the same time. Go ahead and ask the question again.
Yes, you had taken a screenshot of the text messages where he said, where are you at? Let's get to it. Stop ducking my calls. And that's what you sent to him?
I did.
Okay. And that's at 12:12 a.m., correct?
That's correct.
Mr. Efron, even though you might know or think what the answer is going to be that the question is over, can you wait all the way until you hear the lawyer finish their question, because the court reporter can't get you both at the same time?
Okay. Now, would you agree that up until that point in the text thread, he has not responded to your messages, correct?
I'll have to see my phone.
So what I'm saying is, you said after the shooting, you texted him the garbage
Okay,
case,
yes.
and you sent him 3 other messages. To that point, he never responded to any of them, correct?
Correct.
But after you sent him the picture of your conversation, he responded, correct?
Yes.
And what was the first message that he sent to you?
Bro, what the fuck is you talking about? Why? Bro, what the fuck is you talking about? Why you telling people I shot at you?
And then he questioned or added a question mark to the message that you had sent to him previously, saying you tried killing me.
Yeah, he put a question mark on it.
What did that mean to you when someone puts a question mark on your text?
I mean, like, I can't tell you what he meant by that.
No, how did you receive it?
I received it like he was not owning up to the fact. Like, I just wanted to see if he was gonna own up to like what he was doing.
Okay. And then you sent him a response, correct?
Yeah, on my hand.
What were you showing him on your hand?
The grace.
The same injuries that we displayed before?
Yes.
And then
That was in people 17.
April 17, yes. And then his next message to you was to attach a question mark to your text of you should have killed him, correct?
That's correct.
Did you receive that the same way? Like you said, in your words, he wasn't owning up to it?
Yeah, he was in denial still.
Okay. Top of the next page. What did you text him after that?
I said I did love the dumbass.
What does that mean?
Yeah, I love her. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't expect that.
Sorry, I couldn't hear someone cough.
I did not expect this to happen. So I was just telling him I had love for you.
Meaning before the shooting, you loved
Yeah,
him.
before it.
Okay. Can you read your next message to him?
I said, y'all niggas try to set me up and take me with my daughter.
Did he respond to that message?
He did.
What did he say?
I try to do what? Nigga, I know you hate me. I hate you too.
Top of the 8th page. What did he say?
Stop making shit up, bro.
All right. And how did you respond to that?
I got bid.
Okay. At that point, what did you mean when you said I got bid?
I got video.
What video were you referring to?
So, I was thinking the actual, like, around, I probably was texting him after I got the bullets or something like that. I don't really remember, but when I said that, I probably was already back at my hotel and I already took pictures of every location we was at.
Okay, you said when you went back to take pictures of the actual cartridge cases, there were other things you were taking pictures of as well, correct?
Yeah.
What other things were you taking pictures
Any cameras I seen around?
of? On businesses?
Yeah.
And had you, up to the point that you sent this text, so we're now at 12:40 on November 7th, did you watch video from any of those locations?
No, I couldn't.
Did you have access to any of those cameras?
No, I went to one building, they told me I needed a subpoena.
Okay, so they specifically refused to let you watch it.
They wouldn't even acknowledge the fact that I wanted the video. They was like, you would need a subpoena.
So
I think I went with the lawyer that I had, and he told him that.
the point being though, when you sent that text message, at that moment, you had not seen any videos related to this case.
I never seen anything.
Were you only referring to the fact that you know there were cameras around it?
Yeah, so I wanted to reserve before it gets too late on what happened, because I didn't go to the police right away.
But I'm asking, what are you communicating to him with that text message?
Oh, I'm letting him know that I have evidence. Like you're not getting away from this.
Why is it that you felt like you had to tell him you had evidence?
Because he shot at me. He wasn't acknowledging the fact that he shot at me.
Was he denying that the whole incident took place? Is that how you received it?
Yeah.
We're gonna have to break and stand up 2 minutes.
I'm just want to finish with this and I'll be done now. You, after that text message about the video, what did you text him?
See you soon, bud.
Then your next message?
I meant to say probably stop texting me. You lost it.
Okay. But what you actually sent him was
Text everything. You lost it.
All right. And then your next text?
Just stop texting me.
And then how did he reply to that?
Love me, but talk shit about me. Shit on me. Let me get cut. Which I don't know how the fuck I let this nigga get cut. And it still ain't cut you off. We never had...
Wait, Mr. Ephron, can you just read the text and then I can ask you what
Nigga, you've been a op. You don't love me because we don't do business, so it is what it is.
Okay. When he said that you talk shit about him, what did you take that to mean?
I never talk shit about him. If anything, I'm just voicing my opinion. on
Hi,
why
everybody.
shit's not working.
We're going to be talking about this when Michael gets on, and I want you to listen to testimony because we have a lot to say about this witness and a few little things that occurred in that courtroom today. But let's watch until it
And
ends.
then when he says you've been an op, what does that mean?
That was the first time I ever heard I was an op from him.
What's an
So
op?
it was new. Like an opposition, maybe somebody you don't fuck with. Mind you, I told this dude many times, if you don't fuck with me, just let me know.
Okay. And then I get the rest. And then the last text message that he sent to you.
Now you trying to extort niggas talking about I shot at you and shot you 4 times and all type of nonsense. You a phony, you don't have my best intentions. Stop
He
texting.
doesn't say mine.
Where?
You don't have the best intention.
Oh yeah, you don't have the best intentions. Stop texting me and stop calling my manager and call the police if I shot at you, you weirdo. So after that, that's when I was like, okay.
Hold on.
How did you receive that text message?
Oh, it was no more trying after that. I was going to do what he literally told me to go to the police.
But did you receive that as him denying that this incident ever took place?
Oh, yeah.
In anywhere in the text messages he sent you, did he refer to an allegation that he used a prop gun
No, never.
or a starter pistol?
No.
When he says stop texting me and stop calling my manager, what is he? Do you know what he's referring to when he says stop calling my manager?
So he had a manager, John, that I was cool with, and he did that. I sent everything I sent him, I sent to John. And John was like, pretty much like, whoa, let me see what's going on.
Okay, but that's what you thought he was referring to, was the fact that you were in communication with his manager.
With his manager, yeah.
Okay. You had a concern about what would happen if you ever challenged the defendant. Have those concerns been realized in your life?
Objection. What do you mean by that?
Hold on. Just a minute. About how much longer do you have?
That's it, Your Honor. That's my last question.
So you feel you'll be finished with direct examination?
Yes.
All right. Go ahead and ask the question.
Yes. You've told us about all these fears you had about what would happen to you, what would happen to your career, your life, if you challenged the defendant. What happened? Have those fears actually been realized since this incident?
Yeah, for sure.
Those consequences have happened to you, correct?
Yeah.
All right. I don't have any.
All right, let me see at the sidebar, not on the record, before we.
I thought he was going to say something on the record before they went to, radio silence there. Hey, LKB.
Well, they have to. Hey, Michael Bryant. They're going to go back because he's got 10 more minutes. We heard it. Oh wow! It has been some afternoon. I mean, it has been some afternoon.
All I
We
can
heard
say
the
is
first little Lewin Joe entanglement.
Prosecution,
In trouble.
big trouble. This is
Big
your guy. This is
trouble.
the star witness. This is the guy. Excuse me while I just impeach my own star witness because he apparently is not sure of his storyline. When they put that video up there and he goes, "Yeah, that's me," and Pauly P
Where's
says,
your girlfriend?
Are you sure that's you? Oh yeah, that's me. Okay.
And you said you went with your girlfriend. Well, where is she? But you didn't see this video when he told the police that you went with your girlfriend. And when was this in a preliminary hearing on the 2000?
In the preliminary hearing, you said this is not you. In fact, you even said they don't walk like you. Oh yeah, that's right. And they're calling. They're calling to his attention the time frame. Here's this person you now say, as you sit here today, is you. 10 minutes after 11, you say the timestamp on the photos of the cartridges you found is 11:40.
Right.
So one of two things is going on here. Either he's lying about the identification of the person in the video, or he's not lying, and now sitting here today, he's forgotten the lie that he told before, and he has to account for 30 minutes before finding the shell casings because he's already testified. Yeah, I found him like that because he's better than the 7 cops that were all in that area. He's like Inspector Gadget. So
I love the way they said, "Though, where's your girlfriend?" He said, "Well, what happened? Oh, you didn't see this video though before you told him your girlfriend had come with you." Oh, wait a second.
Yeah, it just looks bad. It just looks like not only did he manufacture evidence in terms of finding those bullet casings, he can't keep his story straight, and the prosecutor Pauly P is put in. I feel sorry for the dude because here's your star witness who can't keep it straight, assuming you're giving him the benefit of the doubt.
Prosecutor. I mean, that's why they knew they had trouble with this. And then I learned a number of things. I mean, here Joe Jackson said you can't impeach your own witness by that, right? You can't impeach your own witness. Well, you can. You can, but that's not the way to do it.
You don't want to.
And then Lewin chimes up and said, "There are no rules without whether you can impeach your witness."
No, if we want to convince you our witness is a lying sack of poop, we get to do that. Well, you're right. You do. You can do that.
And then it comes out, and I hadn't known this. It comes out, who first of all, he got a lawyer. It came out, the Relli got a lawyer, right? He calls a lawyer. He doesn't do anything until the lawyer calls him back another day. So that is 2 days later. And then the lawyer tells him to do something. I'm not sure. And then he says, "Well, where'd you go?" Well, I did you call 911? No, I didn't call 911.
No, I called my lawyer.
I walked into a police station. Which one? I don't know. Hollywood. I don't know. Somewhere in Hollywood, and then they're talking about a deposition was taken. I guess at the it wasn't a deposition; it was a preliminary hearing. You just see Joe Tacopina. He questioned you, and did the judge ask if you'd give a statement to him, and I declined. Why? Because I'm suing him for defamation.
Yeah. And that happened just the other day because there were witnesses in the courtroom, prospective witnesses, including Mr. Relli, and there's another gentleman whose last name I can't remember. They were both asked on the record in court before the jury was brought in if the prosecution or the defense wants to talk to you prior to your testimony. Are you okay with doing that? No, I'm not.
I'm not going to talk. Yeah. But why? Because I'm suing Joe. He said because I'm suing.
I can't wait till we get to the cross and Joe wants to get into the defamation case because Mr. Blabbermouth witness, who, you ask him he's one of these witnesses I describe like this. You ask him what time it is and they tell you how to build a watch. All right. This guy offers so much stuff that you don't need. And in that
But-
particular case, it was
Did you hear that?
no,
Did you hear?
but I'm suing him for defamation.
Yeah, but did you hear that Joe said he opened the door, Your Honor? And Lewin said
Yes.
he did not open the door.
Of course he hopes
opened
that.
the door.
The door is wide open. And now
It's
we're going to
wide
get
open.
into the secondary motivation of this witness. It's not just to go after Rocky, it's to go after his attorney as well.
And then there was a little tip. I don't know if you heard. He said, "Well, do you have an assistant?" Yeah, I have an assistant, a business partner. A business partner. His name is Justin, because I'm sure that we're going to hear. Just something tells me, in the way this is unfolded about the 30 million, that we're going to hear Justin may have been asking for some money too as a business partner. I just get that. That's the vibe. I got that vibe. And the prosecutor thinks because you ask him now, well, do you have any friends now? Have you lost all your business? That's going to justify asking for 30 million and then 30 million apparently in cash. I think I heard Joe say on the.
Well, cash is best. Cash is important. Cash is good.
Every bank just like gives you 30 million in cash. It's easy.
Of
I can't
course.
even get $10 in cash sometimes in my bank. They want to know what you're spending it for.
So when that line of questioning began, and it was to talk about, woe is me, here's what's happened since this incident, it was a living hell. I mean, has he been practicing that line for a while? It was a living hell. I don't know how to explain it. All my friends, and I do like how they determine, failure these days is people stop following me. So, they stopped following me. The talent I was representing, they stopped following me. The producers and others I was dealing with, the music companies, they stopped following me. That's your entire business strategy. That if you're successful, if they're following you, and if not, you're out.
Wait a second. What are we doing here? We want followers. We want subscribers. So maybe he's right. Maybe he's absolutely right.
That's right. Okay, so I don't know. I hesitate to judge success based on followers or subscribers. To be honest with you, I love them, but I've always said I'd still be doing this if there's one person watching or a million. I don't care. So here you have.
Misty has been doing a great job. She has been doing a fabulous job keeping us apprised and running the link and getting me on before Michael Bryant got on. And so,
yes, as usual. Thank you, Missy. I was listening as I was on the road, and it was nice to have our little banner up with the show that we were watching.
That's
so
right.
Always appreciate that.
And we're going to try to do more of that. Let's stream into our Justice Served TV, because there's always one camera that's appointed for the courtroom to stream, and then everybody else feeds off the courtroom camera. There's never, you don't have 5 cameras. Now, a little while we wait, while apparently there's 10 more minutes, and I don't know what they're doing. They're taking a break, or what's
I don't know. He said it was my last question, and then just as they started to pan off, the judge said something about putting something on the record. So I have a feeling they're going to get rid of the jury. They're going to come back, make some sort of on-the-record statement.
Or maybe that's it.
Housekeeping. But I got the feeling he said this is my last question. So, of course,
what was the last question?
When an attorney says,
wait, everybody, tell me what the last question is.
Yeah,
what our chat has been watching. What was the last question? Let's go find our last question, because I was like, this is not the way you want to end your last witness. This is your first witness, your main witness, your only really.
This is the case. This is the case.
Right.
And I think the guy sucks, and he comes off as a bitter, greedy former friend who wants a piece of Rocky. That's how he comes off.
Right. And then did you hear there was another thing here? They're reading text or something and all. And he read the text. The prosecutor read the text and it said that Rocky shot you. And Joe said,
he said shot at you.
And he said, no, he doesn't say that. It says shot at you. Sorry.
That stuff, even because Paulie P comes off, I think, as affable and not like it doesn't sound. I don't think he was doing that intentionally. Maybe wishful thinking, but I don't think it was an intention to mislead the jury.
The one good thing they have going on this case is that he has been the one doing the questioning, because he seems to be very honest, very forthright. He's not trying to mislead anything. He's trying to, as a matter of fact, he's trying to get it all out there. He's getting all the bad stuff out there and all. Although when John Lewin gets up and objects,
we're back to that original premise that why is the guy not examining the witness doing the objecting or countering the objections from Joe Tacopina? Why? Is it because Lewin is just this master of understanding the evidence code? It comes off as undermining Polly P. Like, let me take care of my little brother here because he doesn't really know what he's doing.
Right.
We're letting him
No,
do
actually,
this examination, but I'll handle the important stuff.
I'll handle the big stuff. Now, Paulie P. He says, asked Relli if these were all the consequences that happened to him. Answer yes, then the direct answer.
Okay,
so
that's what I
how
thought.
about, like, your hand hurt forever? And by the way, Rihanna is in the front row of the courtroom. Okay, TMZ.
Oh yeah, Riri.
Them going out to dinner last night. There was no pictures of her entering that we could find. I think, there's that tunnel there that you can go under. And I have a feeling because of security purposes, maybe that's why they brought her through the tunnel. He, of course, had entered the regular way, the defendant. But what amazes me? We have all of these alleged, and I'm going to call them journalists, Michael, because since Karen Reed, people said that we can't get a press pass because technically we're journalists, but we're not a recognized press. We're still journalists in this position, but not recognized press. The judge ordered that we don't get to see her. Excuse me, the judge is enforcing California law. And let me just give you all a little bit of, as Michael would say, a
where
primer.
this come from. Yep.
Where this came from. There was a big trial back in the 1990s in that same courthouse, right? The Clara Fultz courthouse downtown in LA. It was called O.J. Simpson, okay? California versus O.J. Simpson, okay? In case you haven't heard of it, you can Google it, because remember that people who can vote and be on juries now were, have been born in 2006. But what happened was the cameras were always showing the gallery, and there were reports, and people were like, the families were crying, and reporters were going, oh my God. And everyone was talking about what was happening in the gallery from the testimony. So after that, because it was such a spectacle, and it was so ridiculous as such a spectacle, instead of concentrating on the trial, there was a law or a court rule, I forget how they did it, put into effect that says you cannot, if you are televising a case, show the gallery in the courtroom in California. So, for instance, when I televised Spectre, there was no gallery. There was one camera that's focused on me and the client and the front chairs. Even you couldn't even focus from the judge to back, because as you see in many situations, in many cases, because you can't get the gallery. It's like getting the jury. You can't photograph the jury, and you can't photograph the gallery in California.
Welcome to California.
Maybe you've all gotten used to it in other states, but quite frankly, it's the better way to do it. It really is the better way to do it.
I don't know about that. I think because
I like it.
If you go into court, okay, a public location, you have no expectation of privacy. It's not, you're not walking in there thinking, hey, don't look at me. You're open.
But people
You're
are
there.
talking about you, but the media's not going to talk about you.
And don't go.
They're not talking about you.
Don't go then.
But then the media talks about everybody. Oh, look at that reaction. Oh,
Too bad.
Michael Bryant was giving them the finger, right?
That's possible. That's entirely possible. Then just don't go. Just don't go.
It's just not that. It's the reaction and making the reaction what the jury should be reacting to, as opposed to anything else. So
it's a public place. That's I think it's splitting the baby that's wrong. It's like I suggest with New York: you're either going to do it or you're not going to do it. But Massachusetts, we know they're all over the gallery. There, they have close-ups of people in the gallery. So it's jurisdiction to jurisdiction. I'm not shocked that California is that way.
Massachusetts. I had a Cameron Hernandez that was focused on me and Aaron, because I sat next to Aaron during the trial, and it was focused just on us. I mean, there was one camera focused on us. They allowed there to be places, one in the back and one camera focused on us. So you knew, everything you did was going to be on camera, and you better make sure everything you did was good, or everything you did was, shall we say, designed.
Was camera ready and a proper message?
Camera
in the Val, are you ready for your close up? In the Vallow, this just happened. The defense was complaining because they had a single shot, a one shot, as they say in the biz, of Lori Vallow, now Lori
Right.
Daybell. And the defense objected, and at some point they stopped. That one solo shot was no longer allowed. So,
Yeah,
they,
it really
courts
is
do what they
because
want to do.
you can't. Yeah, it's really hard to be working. Plus, in like in the Casey Anthony case, they would like coming close ups. Like if you're writing, trying to get
Well,
to
that's
see what
yeah,
you're writing,
that's
and
different.
the judge wouldn't
Well,
stop it. The judge wouldn't
that's-
stop it in that case. It was outrageous.
That I think is an issue. It reminds me of the Michelle Troconis case. Remember, and this has not even been resolved yet. The contempt of court
Right.
claim that is still hovering out there because on the screen in front of this is of course the case in which Fotis Doulos, now dead, his wife Jennifer Doulos, killed. So they showed on the screen some document that referenced the custody issues with the kids, and it was a sealed document, but they blamed Michelle Troconis for allowing it to be on that laptop to the degree that the family of Jennifer Doulos could see it across the court. And so there's a contempt hearing coming up on that. So those kinds of things, I agree, those should be monitored and protected, but not just because you're sitting in the courtroom. Too bad.
Well, no, it's not the sitting in the courtroom that's protected. What it is that the media was making too much of the reaction of the gallery to the testimony.
Okay, so what if
what
if I'm in there? There's no cameras, and I'm a print reporter, or I'm doing this thing, and I'm noting, oh, LKB looked shocked when this happened. Oh, she put her head down and appeared to be crying when this happened. Just like when I was doing the Penny case, right? I could see the victim's dad reacting to the body cam footage and the subway footage, and I reported on that. He's in there. I'm observing it. How is that different than a camera showing him do that?
You are Dominic Dunn, and you were in the O.J. Simpson courthouse. You're like, oh. So you become the story. You're there to report on the story, not become the story.
Well, how is that becoming the story if all I'm doing is saying, here's what I observed?
Because the media was reporting on it. The media was reporting on what Dominic Dunn was like doing, as opposed to, Faye Dunaway, Faye Ray.
Well,
I can't think of any other Faye. My mother's name was Faye, so I'm like, I picked Faye out of the blue.
Faye. Anyway, agree to disagree.
By the way,
I think
can you tell that I chipped my tooth, Michael Bryant?
How did you do that? You're eating steel corn on the cob, or what? What happened?
No, I was rushing to sit down here, and I had well, I've been using a nail file on my teeth. Just let it all hang out here if you really want to know. Okay.
Wait a minute.
And I picked up my computer and rushing to bring it over to the TV table here, and somehow it flew out of my hands and into my face.
Gosh.
Okay. So into my teeth,
No,
actually. So
you look lovely. I can't see a thing.
My nerves
so.
blew them, but I did because my whole front teeth was chipped. I did have to take a nail file. It was the only thing I could find that could be dental. It really kind of hurts. So in case you want to know what I'm doing for you here.
That reminds me of like the Marathon Man. Remember that movie?
Oh, the drilling.
The drill in the tooth. Is it safe? He drills right in raw. I mean, a file on your teeth, that just sends shivers.
Oh, it's ready. So I'll have to check to see tomorrow. I'll have to see whether or not that the nerve is dead and the tooth turns spot.
Oh my gosh.
We'll see.
Okay.
What I don't do to rush around to give you all the news and get on the air.
Impressive. Okay, so now it looks like we've teed up cross-examination for first thing tomorrow morning in this case. Mm-hmm.
When is it starting tomorrow? Then you said we had another short day tomorrow. Or is that enough?
No, tomorrow's supposed to be a normal day.
And starting when then?
Starting at 1:30 our time, 1:30 East.
So
East
that's
Coast.
10:30, right? I'm just trying to figure out the schedule for all of you. So I mean, we want to be there when this starts. Or you won't be there. I'll be
up north, but I'll definitely be watching. Yes.
Yeah. So I have to be there. Missy and I are going to be on. Missy and I are going to hold the fort down.
And what we might try to do, I'm just spitballing here out loud. If their lunch break then will be at 4 o'clock our time. Is that right? No, that's not right. That's not right. It's at 3 o'clock our time.
No, maybe what we should do is run and we're talking out loud to all of you. What do you all want? We'll run the feed. And then we'll get on during the lunchtime. They take
and I'm trying to think where I'll be at 3 o'clock. I may have, if I get up and early and get going, I may have already done a lot of my my reconnoitering and everything, and I'll find a spot to land to do whatever we're going to do. So that's kind of, let's pencil that in, as that way we can chat at
So we
noon
think
and do some Q&A at
noon.
noon. That's noon
Hold on a
for
second,
them,
wait.
3 o'clock for us. 3
Ross, I
o'clock
was
for
going to
us.
say, that's why you're confusing it. You're
I know.
confusing things. Okay,
You know.
so 3 o'clock, we
3 o'clock
Missy
Eastern
will
Standard Time.
monitor. We'll probably have this on in the background, whatever, do at 3 o'clock. But 3 o'clock, we'll get on and go through what we've seen. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot of clips that we're going to want to watch next week and relive these clips, because you know that when Joe Tacopina starts with the cross-examination of Relli, right? Relli, ASAP Relli. This is going to be wild, because what you're going to see is the fireworks with John Lewin going on here.
He's going to be objecting to the way Tacopina adjusts his tie. Your Honor, he's suggesting something with the way he's tightening up his tie. I mean, even today, when Joe would object, and the court, any trial attorney, and most courts, after sitting on the bench for years, they know what the objection is going to be. You know, whether it be lack of foundation, or it's called for speculation, or asked and answered. That they know, because your spidey senses go off, just like ours do when we're watching, and we know there's an objection that's possible. Maybe there's a reason not to make it, but we know that's objectionable. So the judge is filling in the blanks when Joe says objection, and he basically answers the objection, you know, sustained, asked and answered. Lewin has to make a big deal out of it and say, he didn't state the grounds for the objection. You know, and the judge is like, all right, I knew what it was, but okay, can you please, you know, state the grounds next time, so Mr. Weiner, Mr. Lewin, you know, doesn't get all upset. You know, he's too much. He's just too much.
And then Joe states the grounds, and Lewin complained that the court doesn't want speaking objections.
Yeah, well,
or something like that. Maybe that was the court saying it, but don't speak the objection. I was like, I'm in Alice in Wonderland.
And that's what happens, you know. Tacopina will say objection and then state the grounds, asked and answered. That's it, you're done. Well, it's not an invitation for Lewin to start arguing what the motion is, what the objection is. That's not your forum. That's not your role. The judge will rule, period. If you have something critical you want to say, you can ask for a sidebar. Judge might say, not a chance in hell, and you move on. It is not an invite, Lewin, to just whine about something else, but he does.
Yeah, that's. I have a feeling this is going to be some show. What he doesn't realize is that he doesn't have Robert Thurston. I guess the reason why he's there is that he thought that maybe that or somebody in the office thought it had to be a higher up, right? That Paul AP, as we're calling him, couldn't handle Joe Tacopina. But I think Paul AP gave the case more credibility by being who he was. I mean, quite frankly, I thought that he didn't, whether or not you have a problem with your witness, he looked like he wasn't manufacturing the case, whereas some prosecutors would look like they're manufacturing the case.
Yep, I think he looks, I think earnest is the word you used, all right? He looks like he's just a journeyman attorney, trying to lay out the case and dealing with an impossible witness today. I don't know. It might have been interesting to see how Lewin would have handled this witness, right? I don't know. I don't know if he would have been as patient, you know? That might have been fun to watch.
Oh my gosh! But I know. I had told when because I know you were on the road that there would be certain timestamps to eventually clip that we'll probably end up getting to next week, like as a best of last week's show, going into next week. You know, we're starting next week because you know that the high point is going to be this cross examination. I mean, let's face it.
No doubt. I mean, there will be some other witnesses, and of course, we don't know yet if Rocky's going to take the stand. But there will be some other arguably important witnesses. The girlfriend, as I said from day one, I think is going to be important, especially now in light of this testimony from Relli. But nobody's going to compare
the business
this
partner.
guy.
Yeah, Justin.
And Justin. Yeah, again, those are all tangential type witnesses, but they all focus around Relli. It's all about what he's doing, saying, didn't do. They did talk about prop gun versus starter pistol. Do you hear that conversation?
Yeah,
'Cause
matter of fact, you said that you said, and then you used the word prop gun a number of times when you said that.
yeah, and at some point he said something about, did you know that he had a prop gun or a starter pistol, or so he was trying to cover all those bases. So that is to me a point against the defense, and that is, where's the gun, whatever it is,
Right.
where
right.
is it?
Where's the gun? Right. That's a point against the defense.
I mean,
You're
that's one of
absolutely
your key defenses. Where's the gun? So
right. But then the other interesting thing, not only was probably at one point, and we have to find that clip. There was a question about him getting shot, and there's a question about about him falling forward or something on one of the knuckles, and he said, "Well, I was 210 pounds then. I was heavier." And then I was like, "Oh, well, oh, that's not a good thing to say." I mean, there was like a
sounds like I fell on my knuckles.
like I fell on my knuckles. And then the prosecutor says something, but, well, how did you know, it was shot? Well, I felt me getting shot. But there was a suggestion that he suggested really that maybe he started to fall down and then caught himself because he realized that falling on his knuckles would not be a good thing for the injuries.
So let's talk about the hospital. We've heard rumors that he went to the hospital in New York a few days later. That doesn't sound like that's
Yeah, a week later,
what
right.
he's testifying to anyway.
I didn't hear. Maybe I missed it.
I
Missy
did hear that.
Mayhem, did you hear him say anything?
Anybody hear
about
that?
Did anyone here in our chat hear him say anything about going to the hospital? I didn't.
I did not either, ever. Not here, or not in LA, and not in New York.
Yeah, no, but he took a picture of his knuckles, which you could barely see.
Yes. And he couldn't remember when he took the picture. I don't know. It was the next day, maybe 2-3 days. And in your mind, you're thinking maybe when you came up with your master plan, you didn't do it immediately because you hadn't formulated the whole plan yet.
Missy didn't hear it either. I didn't hear anything. He would say nothing.
Yeah.
Did you seek medical treatment? Right?
Those are just gaping holes in the reality that a common sense approach to this is going to bring. Why wouldn't you do that? Is it because you guys?
Right. You had also the issue, was he the aggressor, and was Rocky trying to defend himself? Was he the aggressor? Right?
Well, I think what we know from the little weird video that we have, and this is somewhat undisputed, we see Rocky putting a gun of some sort back into his waistband, right? That we know. Beyond that, I don't know. I mean, that squares really with either story. Right. So I don't know how helpful it is. I do think this is interesting. Remember, in at least one police interview, Relli told them he heard 3 or 4 shots. Remember that?
Right.
And then he attributed that, when confronted with the audio of clearly 2 shots being fired, he attributed that to just the adrenaline of the moment. I don't disagree with that. I think that's entirely possible. If you think somebody's shooting at you, 2 shots might feel like 3 or 4 or 5.
Or if they hit something, and you hear the hit on something, gravel, or asphalt, it could sound like there's another shot, right?
Right.
And
Or
people
even an echo. Even an echo, because there are some big buildings in that area. So I'm okay with that. But he goes back and, of course, immediately finds just two casings. So does that mean he really didn't know how many times he was fired at, if at all, or that he just only had 2 bullet casings laying around, but he would have found 3 or 4 if he had them to drop there? I don't know what that means. It's a weird inconsistency, because the 2 casings he found actually supports the 2 shots you hear on the audio version of the recording from that night.
Oh, I couldn't see the 4 photographs, because there are 4 photographs taken at different intervals, some a few seconds apart, some like 20 minutes later, right? Because it started like at 11:21, and then there was, or 11:20, then 11:21, then 11:43, and then 11:48. So was he trying to take 4 photographs thinking that no one would notice the difference?
Well, he testified
that they're the same, because he testified to the same.
Yeah, just same projectile. Casings.
But at the time he took them, maybe that's not what he was intending to take photographs of.
And maybe that was something they had to clean up. The prosecution may have had to clean that up to create consistency in the 2 shots fired, apparent reality. yeah, maybe he's just he's throwing them all over the place and taking pictures wherever he can.
Right, because it's
So-
different to me that you have that 20-minute, you have the first two taken within like a minute or so, and then the second two taken like 20 minutes, 26 minutes later or something like that. Because he said, I found them right away. Well, if you found them right away,
Yeah, right away.
why
No
is there
problem.
a gap of 26 minutes?
Yeah, what are you doing with your ghost girlfriend? What are you doing at that point?
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
understand. So I think he narrowed down the area in which he says he found them sufficiently that Tacopina can match up. And he did it during the opening. Here's where the cops were all hovering, wandering around,
Right.
looking, finding nothing. And here's where you, Inspector Gadget, found these casings magically. In fact, when this is over, Mr. Relli, we want to hire you at the LAPD because you clearly have some sense of finding evidence that we're just bumbling idiots. We can't figure it out. But you, sir, have something very special, and we need that on the force.
By the way,
really,
when Missy was monitoring, as you saw, our viewers couldn't see, but we could see the seal of the courtroom that the court, they never came back in session for whatever it was.
Even for whatever they allegedly wanted on the record, they never
came back they never came back in session.
Okay.
So that was
so it could hold.
We didn't miss anything. So, so they're probably wondering, so how long are you going to be? Yeah, how long are you going to be? What do you think? All day tomorrow? Oh yeah, I think all day tomorrow. And if this were a Lewin doing the cross-examination, we'd be here the next week.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It
wouldn't just be
3 weeks with Mr. Durst. Yeah, that's probably what killed Durst in the end. Yeah,
I don't know. And yes, it's gonna be fun. So it's gonna be fun. I mean, the only reason I think we can laugh about this a bit, not that getting shot at, if he was shot at, is funny. It's just the way this whole case is unfolding. Is usually we're seeing somebody who's deceased. We're seeing true tragedy and all, but this is really there's a little bit of theater in it, maybe because it is LA. Jenny said he said his lawyer told him to go back to the scene to look for evidence. What lawyer would do that? Here's the problem with that story. He called the lawyer not the night of the shooting, but the next day, and he waited until the lawyer got back to him the day after to go to the police station. So, but he said that he went back to the scene, right? He went back to the scene that night. And
there's video evidence of something. Yeah.
Of that night. So if he went back that night, he didn't talk to a lawyer in between. I don't think. Maybe he was talking to his business partner. Or maybe the story has changed. Maybe he now says he talks to a lawyer. But what lawyer? No lawyer is going to say go back to the scene and look for evidence.
No, probably not. And so you have a weird series of texts there that this was the last thing they really talked about on his direct examination. And they were texts between Rocky and Relli, both prior to the shooting and after. So what do you make about that series of texts?
Yeah, it was interesting because is that Rocky really initiating? I think Rocky said, "What the hell are you talking about? I shot at you. I didn't shoot at you," or something like that. Or right, So it sounds more like Relli was initiating the text to try to get some kind of admissions, right? And all that's what it sounds like to me.
Does the jury hold against Rocky a denial that he even fired something?
Yeah, I don't know, because maybe he just thinks I didn't try to kill you. You shot at me and try to kill you. Whatever. What you talking about? What are you talking about? I don't know. We're going to see him. I'd like to see all the texts lined up together where you could actually see them, because I don't know about you. It's 10 pages. I don't know about and whether they release them, because it's very hard on that screen to see some of the text. And of course, some of the texts are in rap lingo, shall we say. That's the only thing I will say. Words that you and I are not going to be using on the show.
A lot of N-words in there, yes.
Yeah. So, and other stuff. But and I think the text went back on. But it is interesting that, is he texting even though he hires a lawyer? I mean, he's hiring the lawyer and he's texting at the same time, and he sues him for 30 million. There's a demand now for, and I don't think it's in the lawsuit. I think it came, I have a feeling it came separately. That's when I was listening to Joe.
What came separately?
The 30 million request was like not through the lawsuit necessarily.
no.
Yeah.
And I'd have to look at the series of events. When, if it's true, did Relli reach out to Rocky or his representatives and throw out that number? And when was it written down in the lawsuit or some version of it? Obviously, if the reaching out to Rocky or his reps came first, and then the lawsuit then is almost damning, right? Because where'd that number come from? Oh, it just so happened to be the number you threw out there to Rocky and his representatives before a lawsuit. On the other hand, if the lawsuit was, if you call the attorney minute one before you call 911, before you go to the cops, the motivation doesn't smell so good, right? But then if that number 30 million is in the lawsuit, and then Relli goes to Rocky or his people and says, I want the 30 million, that actually helps, in my opinion. That helps Relli because he's basically just parroting what's already in the lawsuit.
What's already in the lawsuit.
Yeah, we just don't know yet.
Unless there's some other words attached to it, like which we may hear. What if the other words are, I want it in cash, or what if the other words are words like, I'll go away, and the cops will never find me, and the case will go down the hill, that type of thing. And the things that a lawyer would never say. Lawyers are never going to say that. So it'd be interesting. Yes, Jenny has a defamation suit against Rocky and Joe too. Ben Chu and Camille are the attorneys for that. Yes. Ben Chu's in a different law firm now than he was in when he represented Johnny Depp. Ben is, you have to understand, Ben Chu, Joe Tacopina, and myself all teach at Harvard Trial Advocacy Workshop together. Just so you're all aware of that. As a matter of fact, when somebody said that Joe's not afraid of the N-word. Well, he's going to use it in a different. He's going to use it with the A attached at the end, like they were. He
did in the opening.
And he did the opening. And Joe introduced himself to the group, saying he has the probably the only distinction, the only lawyer who represented both now President Trump, and he also represents Al Sharpton in New York City in a bunch of cases. So Joe's not the one thing about Joe, whether you like him or dislike him, and there's a lot of people who don't like him too, is that he ain't afraid of anything. That's for sure. He's just not afraid.
Yeah, he could be a lot. I understand that. I understand how people, but I think he's entertaining. He's obviously a zealous advocate, and that's what we all take the oath and swear we will be for our clients. So I got no problem with that. I love different personalities in the courtroom. I love it. Whether it's just a kind of a mild mannered, below the radar, or it's somebody that's bombastic. I like all of that.
Yeah. It's very interesting. It's interesting. It is really interesting what's going to happen. But I didn't realize that it's when he dropped it right in front of the jury. Because I'm suing Mr. Tacopina.
I mean, just what a non sequitur. That just tells you so much about where Relli's mind is, right? That he can't even answer a simple yes or no question without tagging on that. Oh, by the way, I'm suing him for defamation. It's a bad look. It is a
Jenny,
really bad look.
Joe did apologize for his New Yorkness. We talked about this in a previous show. The reason why that came about is when I tried Spectre and apologized for my New Jerseyness, my New Jersey accent, but that wasn't a big deal because the jury appreciated that. We had Bruce Cutler in the case to begin with, and he started going at one of the jurors in jury voir dire about being from New York. And well, you take it against him. And initially the guy was like, no. And then by the time he was so at him about every single thing he did, finally he says, I hate you. I hate all of New York. I hate you. And he was out. And he was like identified as being like a good juror for us. But so that's where the identification of whether or not you apologize or you ask the jury whether or not being from New York and California, in a California case, the jury will hold it against you, Jenny. That's the backstory of it. So only you guys who watch us know this backstory, and the jury consultant, who's the jury consultant for Joe Tacopina and Rocky is and ASAP Rocky is the same jury consultant that I use, Richard Gabriel. So see all that.
And it's Joe knows what he's doing. That little folksy kind of, hey, I hope you won't hold against me. I'm from New York. He knows exactly what he's doing. Someone once said, never underestimate the power of likability. That makes him more likable. So, it may get some, side benefit in that it exposes a juror's bias. That's great. But that's not the main role. The main role is,
That's the
you know, hey, I'm fallible. I got an accent. Don't hold it against me. You know, that could be effective.
I had to do that when I went to Maynardville, Tennessee, on a wrongful conviction case. A man was exonerated on a case that was in the United States Supreme Court first. Maynardville, Tennessee, out 40 miles outside Knoxville, very poor area. And you know, you all see how I dress. I blended, so to speak. Not.
Did you? How's that? Was there some? Does Chanel make plaid? I'm not quite sure about that.
It was when I was going through the crime scene, and I wasn't wearing boots, and the investigator and the attorney that I'm with says to me, Linda, just watch where you're stepping. Why? He said, because of the rattlesnakes. I'm like,
Well, I thought it was because of the cow pies, but
I
okay.
was like, you should have seen me. I think I just know the cow pies I could have handled. Yeah, I think I jumped up and they both had to grab me. I was like, one thing I hate more than anything in the world is snakes. That and beets, but that's another thing.
Oh, you don't like beets?
No.
I don't like them either. It tastes horrible, but they're supposedly very good for you.
I know.
Very good.
I know.
Yeah. Do
So
you have a bad beet experience growing up?
Well, I've got pictures of me when I was a 2-year-old child in the high chair with beets all over because I was throwing against the wall. I hated them so much as my parents were trying to give them to me, and I've hated them ever since.
I'm surprised. Some people love them, and I'm like, but they taste like crap. What do you mean you love them? You actually, I mean, I can see tolerate them, know they're good for me, so I'll, you know, eat them and mix them in with stuff to hide the taste. But just you love them, really?
No, I don't like them. But Kay Schmidt asked, yes, Rocky and Joe are using the jury consultant named Richard Gabriel. As a matter of fact, Richard was my jury consultant in almost all of my cases. Decision analysis. He's got a partner, Michelle, Dr. Michelle, who's in the courtroom also when he wasn't there, because I was actually on a panel last Wednesday night in New York City with the chief judge of the New York State courts, and on a project that Richard's doing called finding truth in juries, you know, to get juries to feel like they're hearing the truth more. And so I hadn't seen Richard actually since the pandemic, and yes, we were together, and he was then flying back to continue jury selection, but the jury had already been picked actually by the time he went back. Michelle finished it. So yes, they're using a jury consultant who I know very well, is in all my cases.
Yep, you're dialed in. That's nice. It comes in handy.
It just means you try a lot of cases. That's all. Or you're involved in a lot of cases, and you've got to get the experts. And there's only certain experts that people recognize as being really good, and the top trial attorneys know who they are. It
is a science, and some say that you win or lose with jury selection. So it's certainly, at the very least, it's a major important factor, if it's not the end-all be-all.
Pick the wrong jury, and you can't win the case. Pick the right jury, and you can lose the case if you do something wrong. But you're never going to win the case if you don't pick a jury that at least will listen to you. Brooklyn, what's Bruce Cutler up to these days? I have no idea. I think I still have PTSD.
YSL Granny Trish. YSL Granny Trish. Who's that? Who was that? Granny Trish.
Granny Trish was great. I don't know.
Jenny? I don't remember.
Jenny? Who is it?
Yeah.
Jenny's in Ireland.
I remember Tash, but I don't believe she's a granny. Maybe she is.
Speaking about that, you have to get on getting the mother of Gotti on our show.
Yeah, I keep forgetting. That's Tash, and I keep forgetting to follow up with Doug. But I will make a note to do that.
The Jeffrey jury consultant. The Jeffrey jury consultant. That's okay. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know her. I know they use her down in Atlanta, and you know there is a great jury consultant in Texas, Richard Gabriel. In California, also comes east. Joelle Demetrius was in the Penny case. She was also in the O.J. Simpson case, along with Richard Gabriel. And of course, we have the Atlanta jury consultant. But it's hard to use a jury consultant. Like when Richard and Joellen come east, they've picked so many juries and done so many mock trials, even here, because you know on big cases you do a mock trial. You can't just do a focus group. Although now I understand with the whole idea of Zoom and all, that you can do mock juries all over. The important thing about getting a mock jury is that you get the same type of people that are going to be on the jury that are in the jurisdiction you're going to be trying the case in.
Yeah, I think that's led to a little bit of laziness, because if I'm trying a case in New York, I don't want people zooming in from Iowa, Nebraska, California, Texas. I mean, I don't know how helpful that's going to be. I need
It's
people
interesting, but I guess during the
region.
pandemic they had to. Yeah, Luigi, I'd want to definitely do in person if I were doing. How do you begin a career as a jury consultant? Well, Richard Gabriel's mother was a judge, and they're usually social scientists. They have degrees in psychology and sociology and all sorts of stuff. So they're social scientists usually.
Yeah, you know Michelle Ward, right? You know Michelle
That's
Ward?
Michelle. Michelle is Richard's partner.
Oh yeah,
Gabriel's
yeah,
partner,
Michelle.
Dr.
We should
Michelle
get
Ward.
her on. I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm
she
good
was.
friends with her. She's
Oh
been on a
yeah.
few projects I've worked on, like Mind of a Murderer. She
Yes,
was on
yeah.
that.
Michelle was in the courtroom when Richard was back here to be on the panel. Michelle had to finish picking the jury.
Okay.
Michelle was also in the courtroom every day doing inspecting. Michelle's great.
Yeah, she's done a few different shows that I or Lisa have
we
been
get
involved
Michelle.
in.
We get Michelle. Richard has promised us that he will come on our show. I guess he can't come on right now because he would be under the same gag order as being part of the team.
That's true. Do you think Michelle's going to be guilty by association or not?
Yes. Well, yeah, because they're partners. They're in decision analysis.
I mean, but she's been on this case.
Yes, and so is Richard. So because he had promised me next week he would come on, but that was before the judge gagged him. So we're going to have to wait to the end of the trial.
Okay. All right. Well, I made a note to reach out to.
We could have them on together because they were there different days. Yeah.
Yeah, I made a note to reach out to Doug about Tash to get her on, get an update on Yak Gotti, see what's going on there. He has his hearing coming up. I think it's I want to say 7th or 12th of February, the latest hearing that may or may not, result in his release. So
yeah, no, Michelle's not sitting at Rocky's table. She's there in the courtroom. The jury consultants don't sit at counsel table.
She does have blonde hair.
But she does have blonde hair. There was one exception about coming up to a sidebar for that we had in the Jason Williams case. We wanted Joel and Demetrius up at the sidebar with us, who was doing a lot of our consulting. And in New Jersey, that had never been done before, but the judge did allow her to come to the sidebar so she could also opine in on our objections as to why a jury, because she was keeping all the notes. So the judges are very, very, shall we say, picky about who sits at counsel table.
Right.
And usually it can only be a lawyer unless you get permission for it to be a police officer
or an officer.
And said they're not a consultant. Even when we were doing the Hernandez case, and I had my law students back behind us who were helping, who actually had to model one of the shirts when we were doing this demonstration. They were not allowed to sit at counsel table. They could sit behind us in the well, but they were not allowed to sit at counsel table.
Yeah. So you'll see those chairs up against the bar, still in the well, but not at the table. That's kind of the compromise. It makes sense. I mean, you get it. Part of it's practical. I mean, how many bodies do you crammed up there? It just gets harder to do what you need to do.
Yeah, neither of us know this judge, Jenny. Neither of us know this judge.
No, he's been around a while apparently, but I never ran into him before.
No. So it's interesting to see how different judges rule their courtrooms and run their courtrooms. I guess rule. Yeah. Some are more rulers than runners. Some are.
I think so far, Judge Arnold, I think is doing fine. With two big personalities to deal with, but so far I think he's doing all right.
In the county in New Jersey where I started out my career in Monmouth County, we saw a judge that would turn his chair around. I can't do it here because I'm not on a roller chair. And then there would be like an objection, and he'd be like, the right hand would be overruled, the left hand would be sustained, but he's backwards to you. So objection. I kid you not.
He had to keep his own mind straight.
Oh, Lord. Okay, anyone have any questions before we sign off? Because Michael is going to get on the road and be running up to Massachusetts from Connecticut. He's going to go to the two bars, the water wheel and
at least two bars.
Water wheel and the we went through this last week.
It's McCarthy's and the waterfall.
The Waterfall, not the Water Wheel. The
Waterfall.
Water Wheel is a
Waterfall.
restaurant in Milford, Pennsylvania. Okay. The
And then I'm going to
Waterfall
go by the
Bar.
courthouse, and I understand from our crack staff that Judge Bev may have another matter that she's hearing tomorrow in the same courtroom. So I may be able to. I'll put on my attorney costume. So
Yeah, I think without a jury, I think she's a bench trial with another.
Yeah, so I can just wander
member.
around and I won't look so suspicious.
Yeah, go see our friends with your denial of the past, and then I think you're gonna go by the house, right? You're gonna go by the house.
Unfortunately, I investigated this just for you. The department that issues or denies, excuse me, they're in Boston proper. So that's about 30 miles, 20 some miles. Who knows what time of day? It could take 45 minutes to get there. I don't have the time to waste.
Yeah, no,
you know, just to confront them, even though it'd be satisfying. I think it ultimately would be not very effective. But I did some research to find out where to find them and give them a hard time.
And then you have to you'll have our Starlink with us. So even if you're not back, even if you're not back at wherever you are, you could be sitting in your car with the Starlink on top of your roof there, and you can do the show at 3 o'clock.
Yeah, my plan is to be back because I want to find a location that's nice. But the weather's going to be crap on Friday. It's going to be raining. But I got a plan. I think it's going to be fine. But after we're done here today, I'm going to test drive everything. So I may reach out to you just to we'll do a live that nobody knows about, just to make sure everything works.
Okay.
And then tomorrow, I think I should be able to time it right. So by 3 o'clock, I'm camped out somewhere, and we'll do our thing relating to the Rakim case.
And then of course, when you come back, you're going to have a lot of work on Friday. We're going to be talking about the hearing and all, and we'll probably have to talk about the show too. You may have double duty on Friday.
Well, depending on the time, I mean, we'll cover both if necessary. If we have to do it in one bigger show, we'll do that.
Right. Yeah, double duty on it because you're going to be, what's our plan then? Our plan on Friday is that you're going to hopefully you're going to post on our, on X, different little clips or on YouTube, depending on how big they are, different clips of where you are. Right.
Yes.
And then Friday you'll be at the trial, see what's going on with that hearing, and whether or not we do a show Friday night or whatever. I guess that's up in the air.
What I think my theory is to do it from the scene 4:30-ish before it gets dark.
Okay.
We can go for an hour or so, and then I'll just hit the road, come back.
Right, and I'm sure that we'll have enough done, and by enough fireworks by Friday in terms of ASAP Rocky.
Yeah, I'm sure they're fun.
And then you'll spend your weekend cutting if you can't find clips. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, looking for stuff that happened tomorrow and Friday. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I had a couple of them knocked out. I'll see if I can locate them too. By the way, we couldn't find any clips of as I said, Rihanna going into the courtroom, probably because she went in. They took her in through the underground tunnel.
They're very used to coddling the stars. I remember when the Baldwin case was underway there, Alec Baldwin and Kim Basinger.
Right. Right.
Yeah. I mean, I chased him down the street one day because he did come out. He's very confrontational. So, I chased him down the street, but it was one of the few times anybody came out the normal person entrance or exit. So in LA, they definitely pander to the people.
Well, that's what we try to do. We try to help our people.
We're pandering. We just try to spread some information. Yeah.
But pandering is not the right word, but we try to help and we try to answer questions and all. Okay, so we're gonna say good night to you all. We're not gonna be on our normal 6 o'clock. We'll probably turn this over into an episode if we can.
And so tomorrow, folks, get questions and stuff ready because we'll basically do kind of what we used to do at Long Crime was a lunchtime Q&A.
Right.
But it'll be at 3 o'clock Eastern time tomorrow, noonish, whenever they actually break out in California.
Okay.
Okay.
Right.
Sounds good.
And you'll have been on the air with a bunch of Reed stuff, and we'll.
By then I should have trickled out a few things. Yeah.
Have 2 days all, so get your questions ready. Missy, sleep. Get a good night's sleep. See y'all.
Okay, guys. Wait till I see you then. Try to do the right thing.
And as I said, together, that's Michael Bryant. I'm Linda Kenny Baden. If you like us, please subscribe, share, like, and hit that notify button.